All right, fellas, we on, baby.
Yes, sir.
We
You
on.
would think they would get a better voice to say recording in progress.
I know, right?
See if I can get Sam Jackson to record that for me.
Yeah.
Oh, Samuel. What's good, fellas? It's Friday night, man. Cool Rod in the building already. Rodney, what's up, big brother? Fellas, what's good?
How y'all doing, man? Hanging in there, man. I was just sharing it on your sharing the live on the different pages.
I just put it up in the sports mix. We got that new sports mix page jumping on. We rolling, man.
Saw that.
We rolling.
You rolling with it, man.
Rolling, man. So
straight ahead.
In December already.
Mm.
Got through November, got through Thanksgiving.
Mm.
Santa Claus is on deck. I say that shit too loud, motherfuckers be trying to get me to play Santa and shit.
Yeah. Fuck around, see Coach out at Mondawmin.
Yeah.
Only till 4:30. Get up out of that motherfucker by dark.
What's up, Rodney?
Rodney online, what up, Rodney?
Yeah, so everybody good?
Yeah, man.
Everybody had a good week. Got rid
of
the
there's been some really good basketball on. Caught a couple of games this week. Brooklyn Nets, man, they had a real good game early in the week, and you had Golden State and Phoenix early in the week. And in fact, they're gonna be playing later tonight.
Yeah.
That game they played, I believe it was Tuesday night, man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that was some good basketball.
Yeah, that was a good game.
If from a coach's perspective, like taking clips from that game and like showing like this is the way it should be played, spacing the floor, passing, cutting, playing defense.
I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
And then to think like Phoenix did this with Devin on the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah, D-Book was out.
Yeah, man. So you had that kid Parsons and this other kid, man, that's been like I think Bridges. I think his name is Bridges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Balling. And then, last night the Knicks played Chicago, man.
Yeah.
We took a L, man, but that was some good basketball too.
Yeah.
In the second half. The first half, not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see
Zach LaVine, man. My goodness, man.
He can play, man. He's a good
DeMar
player.
DeRozan, I mean, he balls, but
yeah,
he's Zach LaVine, man. When I see him ball, it's like, damn.
They got a good squad, man.
They do. They do. I mean, between them and Miami.
Yeah.
I like both of those squads.
Yeah, they got good squad, man.
They do.
And Caruso's playing good for the Bulls too, man.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah, but that's when you allow the GM to do his job and put a team together, like I see what the older guys trying to get more veteran laden teams. LeBron always trying to get a veteran team together. KD and them got they top heavy with veterans, but then they got a lot of young guys too.
They missing somebody though.
Well, we know about that. We're not gonna rehash that over.
I'm sorry, man. I'm just saying. I just figured,
Jonathan Barnett.
Get his shots or something. I don't know.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that if KI was playing, that he would make that he would bring a difference to the Nets team as they are right now?
Yep. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's because the team was built with him in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he got them to come there.
And they still in the first. They still number one in the East. I mean, number one on their division, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So they doing well without him, but it's the playoffs where these veteran teams are built for the playoffs. Not to say that the regular season is not important,
right.
But it's they gear up to play their best basketball at the end of the year versus coming out early and busting everybody in the head.
Mm-hmm.
So, the veteran teams look more to play their best toward the end versus, we got Golden State and they're a pretty young team and they rolling. They rolling. Phoenix, I think, got a good mix.
They do.
Veteran and young.
And good coach. A really good coach.
Yeah, that's Monty Williams, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, DC guy. DC guy, good dude. Chicago, I like Chicago young team. You know, with not LaMelo, what's the older one name?
Lonzo
Ball.
Yeah.
You know, that they got a good squad over there.
Yeah.
I also like Charlotte. I like Charlotte squad with LaMelo and
okay.
Good young team. And they're not gonna win the championship now, but they'll make the playoffs, I think. They'll make the playoffs. They'll be a 6, 7 seed, maybe an 8. They'll get in. They'll get in. Look out for Utah. You know, Utah gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Utah be tough.
I don't believe in Utah. I don't believe. When I see them play, I just turn the channel, man.
Oh, damn.
I don't believe in Utah.
Utah will be all right. They'll be a top 5 in the West.
Shout out to John Stockton if he listening.
Hey, listening.
Their first round team. They'll make it to the playoffs, but not beyond the first round.
Yeah.
They're a first rounder.
Damn.
That's it.
And I wore the sky blue. I wore the sky blue just for Utah tonight.
Damn. I feel bad for you there, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We got that homeboy out there on that team.
You know, I gotta look out for my guy.
What's up, Jonathan? How you doing, man?
I look out for my guy Rudy.
Absolutely.
Rudy's a player. I like Rudy. I like my man Spider, but like Gobert.
I think Gobert is a good player, man.
He's a good player.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He's a good player. I'm not
he's
saying
solid.
he's a bad player.
I think he's the kind of player. He's not a kind of your number one go-to guy, but he's the kind of player you're gonna win a championship with because he does the intangibles. I really think so.
Yes,
man. I'm dead serious.
No.
Yeah.
No. You can't win a championship with Gobert.
No, I'm not saying he's the main card.
Doesn't matter.
I'm saying, come on, man. No, you're not
no,
being realistic.
I'm sorry. He doesn't do anything for me, man. I'm sorry. I hear you, but I watch him, I see his numbers, and I'm like, nope.
Really?
Nope. Like, I just don't see it. Like, somebody would have to like really break it down for me and say, yo, Charlie, look at what he does here. Because when I watch him, I am like so unimpressed.
So wait a minute. What do you think about his defense? Come on, CB.
I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not saying he's not saying he's a scrub. He's a good player, but he's a good player. Okay. That's it.
All right.
And I don't think that he can go beyond that. Like where he is right now, that's where he's gonna be. That's where he's gonna be next season, 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons from now. He's not
going to be a tough night for me. Oh my God.
So Brooks. Brooks.
I'm not saying he's a bad player.
No, I'm just messing. Yeah.
I'm not going to see anything more from him. That's all.
I can dig it, man.
So Brooks, let me ask you a question. When it comes to New York basketball, where is the dividing line for the Nets versus the Knicks? How is the fan base there? How are both teams being accepted? I know, like with the Yankees and the Mets, there's like a dividing line. What is that line, or how is the fan base in New York dealing with the Nets and the Knicks?
Man, the Knicks is the foundation, man. I mean, that's
Yeah.
it. I mean, you know, it's the I mean, that's it. I mean, there's no argument. The Nets are the they're the new kids on the block coming into Barkley, you know, with all the blitz and lights and all that, but still the Knicks.
Yeah.
The Knicks can be as poor as they can be, but they're still going to be the Knicks. They were there, you know. And there's no disrespect to the Nets, but you know they came second. But the Nets has always been, because they were you know, when like back in the day when they were in the ABA, so they've always been close, so to speak, you know. But like now they're actually in the city with Barclays, you know. So they've always been there, but you know it's always been the Knicks and then the Nets.
Mm-hmm.
Rodney said get rid of Dolan.
Haven't changed that.
Rodney said get rid of James. Get rid of Dolan.
Yeah,
we got Jamal. Jamal said he agreed with Brooks. What shot blocker with no offense have won a chip?
See, I'm thinking about this. No, that's not true. And I'm saying, you know what? I don't know how old Jamal is.
Around our age.
Shout out Jamal. But if you're going by position, a center, you may have it correct. But what I said, I have this thing where if you take the emotion out of what I said, Gobert is a cog to a championship team. I did not say he was a number one option. I didn't say he was a number two option.
Right.
But the intangibles that he brings, you got to have some sort of defensive player on your team,
right,
to win a championship.
Right.
So I understand CB. CB said, he looked at him enough. He said, "No, you know what? I just don't dig him." But same time, you look at a guy like, for example, Bobby Jones for the Philadelphia 76ers, great defender.
Mm-hmm.
He was like a fifth option.
Mm-hmm.
But you needed a guy like that.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman with the ball. Yeah.
So that was kind of my point. But so anyway, I'm sorry.
So, if my guy from I'm blanking on his name, man. Shaq the Fool. My guy Shaq the Fool, JaVale McGee.
McGee.
If he became an important piece on the championship team, it's hope for Rudy. It's hope for Rudy.
But now, when you look at McGee,
yeah,
and you can criticize his game, but you can at least say that his game has progressed in whatever little way. But at least in years, you can say those Shaq and the Fool years compared to now, he's a different player. He has gotten better.
Yeah, he has, man.
I can't say the same thing for Gobert.
Yeah.
He was allowed to grow up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of time we so impatient with these guys. We want them to be.
True.
Hey, but tell me this.
Kareem, like in year 2.
True.
Hey, tell me this, Kenny.
You're right.
Jamal brought up a great point. He said Mike had Cartwright. You think if you think if Donovan Mitchell elevated his game, do you think that would help? My point as far as Gobert being another cog to now, you guys don't think so? Okay.
Donovan got game.
Donovan is tough.
He's a great
the jury's still out on him for me.
Okay.
But he's tough. He definitely tough. He definitely is a ball player.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell y'all this. I didn't know until last year. I felt bad that I didn't know this. I didn't realize that motherfucker was only 6'1".
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell. I thought for sure he was 6'5", 6'6", the way
he played like he's 6'5".
Yeah, he does.
He played like an animal. But he's 6'1", man, legit.
Right.
Yeah, but that with that being said, the jury's still out on him whether he is the guy that's going to lead the team to the championship.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's that guy. He's a player, but I don't know if he's like that player.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's got that.
Mm-hmm.
As long as he keep exiting those playoffs so early, he ain't gonna never get that respect.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You got to get over that playoff hump.
Over that playoff hump.
You know what I'm saying? But Utah build good teams. You know what I'm saying? Have they built a playoff worthy team yet?
Yeah.
To be determined.
Well, I think they have a playoff team, but do they have a team that can go deep in the playoffs? Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Can they win a series? Right. Can they get out of the first and second round? And the West is tough. We know the West is going to be tough for anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so the fact that Utah is even in the conversation.
I was going to say, yeah.
It's only in the conversation because Cheese put them in there.
Sorry, man. We haven't talked this much about Utah since Donnie and Marie Island.
That's because of Cheese.
My bad, man.
I think I threw him in the mix. But
right.
And this ain't
about the Knicks first before I talk about some damn Utah.
Oh man, I'm in a hot seat already.
This is not your daddy's Utah Jazz, fella.
Yeah, no.
This ain't Karl Malone and
Jerry Sloan ain't walking through that door no more. Right.
It's a new day.
Knew
Stay
that.
in Utah. It's still Utah now. It's still Mormon.
What's up,
City.
Bank Collins?
Bink, what's up, brother?
Pinky.
Yeah, big shout out to Dundalk Owls, my school, man. They took an L in the championship game last night to my brother to my left, his alma mater, the Mervo Mustangs.
Ooh.
Good game, man. Props to Mervo.
That was a state championship.
Yeah, state championship. Yep, 4A, 3A, or 3A, 4A, however you want to say it.
Right.
Mervo was the champ. They played a hell of a game, man. It was a good game, man. And Mervo definitely, played with that inspiration with the young man that died in the first game of the season. So they honored him last night. Came out. They started slow because they went down early, 13-0, and they fought back, man, and won the game 22-13. Man, it's a good game. Good game for all the two on both schools. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Milford Mill took an L today. I saw the scores a little while ago. I didn't see the final, but I know they played the 4:00 game this afternoon. And then tomorrow, I think the last local team that's playing is Dunbar. And I'm not sure what time their game is, but the last local team to have an opportunity to play for a state football championship. So good luck to the Dunbar Poets tomorrow. Props to Milford Mill, Dundalk, and Mervo for representing Baltimore City, Baltimore County in the state football championships 2021.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I just want to say a little bit about Mervo and that young fella that died, got injured in that game, and maybe died like a month later after he got injured. And it kind of took me back to when I was up at Mervo, and excuse me, and I had went and went to watch a game, and this was 40 years ago, I guess, that another Mervo player had died on the field, and I had attended, and he made a tackle on the kickoff, and basically died, on the field, breaking his neck. Classmate of mine, a brother named John Mann. So, this whole thing with players dying on the field, football is absolutely a tremendously physical sport. You always want players to come out and be healthy. They don't want you to clash the heads anymore, and helmet-to-helmet contact and these things, and the concussion things come into play, because it's a dangerous sport. And that's a huge loss, man, for the Mervo community, for that young man to pass away like that. Definitely a condolences to his family.
Yep. I think his parents were at the game as well.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
His parents were at the game, so definitely
that's great to hear
for that program. I think it was their first state title as well.
Yeah.
So good props to Mervo.
You know what, man? That says something. I know you're going to the next subject, Kenny, but it says that's a great thing. And you know what? I'm believing a lot of things that maybe are meant to be. And I'm a Turner Station kid, born and raised, but I guess it's something to be said about, you have a tragedy like that, and certain things, create its own path. Sort of like, remember when Hank Gathers passed away and Loyola Marymount made that big run? And a lot of things like that in sports kind of galvanized, the team. So shout out to Mervo, man.
Yeah.
Nothing but respect, man.
Big respect to Mervo, like Baltimore City represented, for the state. And Dunbar tomorrow, Baltimore County represented by Milford and Dundalk. So it's good, man. It's good to see both, all the schools represented, man. Just see those kids that work so hard.
Get my fucking beats.
Because hey, what's going on there, brother?
Right.
Hey, Bank made a comment, Kenny. You might.
What do you say?
He said,
I got some nasty comments for protecting a Mervo win. It's all. Hey, brother, you know how it go.
He was like a Raider fan that break Bronco country. Oh my goodness.
You
Great.
know how it go, brother.
Woo.
Let's move on. You know, the news of the day. The news of the day in the state of Maryland. University of Maryland basketball coach Mark Turgeon and the university have agreed to part ways. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
He got fired.
let's go around the horn, fellas. Let's get some opinions on the parting of ways of Mark Turgeon. CB, you want to start us off?
He got fired. He got called into the office and they said, "Look, man, you're out. We can either mutually or you're fired."
So we
And
can do
said,
this.
"All right,
We can do this the easy way or the hard way.
that's it," you know. But you know, I do wonder as to, I mean, we don't know what happened, but it's like the timing, like, so to me, like so early in the season, and for them to make a decision now, to me means like damn, they deemed it serious enough to say you gotta go. And I don't know if it's something that's like well known. I don't know if it's something going on in the locker room. I don't know if it's cause I know that they lost two games that they should have won. I didn't see the games.
Yeah, they lost a few they should have won. They lost to
because they're 5-3 so far, right?
Yeah.
they lost to George Mason
Right,
at home,
right.
you know, which is, you know, you shouldn't lose to George Mason. But
They say that's the first time in program history they lost to them.
yeah.
Maybe they saw something. Maybe something is, you know, maybe there's something going on in the locker room, you know, morale, something, and they felt that it was time to make a change.
Yeah. What you think, Chief?
I mean, I agree with CB. I think you know, to go up to the, you know, after 8 games and say, you know, we part ways. I think those 2 early losses kind of put the nail in the coffin with him. Then they had some close victories, but I mean, that's how it is. I heard Gary Williams say today that if they need somebody with a lot of energy to galvanize the program again. And I mean, I don't know if any takers. I know, you know, people talking about Juan Dixon and other guys. I know they have Danny Manning taking over, but Danny Manning is a Turgeon guy. I mean, they were teammates at Kansas. And so it's interesting to see what Maryland will do after the season is over. But I think the one thing that they have to do, like Gary Williams said, get somebody with some energy who can recruit, the big time player. And I know, you know, a lot of coaches, if they get a player, okay, they might stay away from the one and done because they might not want to deal with that to grow the program. But at this point, you know, if you can get some one and dones in there to kind of get them back into prominence, then, you know, that's what they might have to do.
I have a question. Has in the last maybe 2 or 3 years, or even in the last year, has Maryland lost out to any top high school prospects? And I'm saying that just in light of the recruiting, because I mean, if you know, if you have some you know, some Maryland ballers and they're going outside of the state, I mean, part of that is recruiting. Has that been the case? Is my question.
Probably the biggest one that they had was Sticks, right, Kenny? As far as the last like 4 or 5 years, top recruit from the area.
Yeah, he was like a 5-star.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was 5. But yeah, like Benke said, they lose out top recruits every year. That's nothing new with Maryland. They, you know, but to their defense, you only got 12 to 15 slots, so you can't get everybody. But they should be winning more of those battles than they lose. I think, you know, especially some of the guys that they had right in their backyard in the last, you know, 15 to 20 years, you know, you can't lose all those battles. And from my understanding, some of those guys wanted to go to Maryland.
Yeah.
You know, and they were like, you know, Maryland didn't reach out or was there was a thing with the AAU coach that, Maryland didn't particularly like the AAU coach or something like that. So, just that's the political stuff that, and that's just the way the game is played now. You got to get involved with that. And the name of the game is winning. So, if you want to keep a job, you got to do some winning. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be, Gary Williams. I wasn't the greatest Gary Williams fan. Gary. He supposedly brought the program back from the dead. I question that a little bit.
Dude.
I question a lot of that.
Wait a minute. You don't think he brought him back?
Well, I don't think the person that they say killed the program is the person that killed it.
Right.
So let's
no, you're absolutely right, man.
Let's say that.
No, you're absolutely right.
I think, but I'm not gonna make this a Bob Wade thing, but
But it is.
I think Wade was put in there and he took a lot of heat.
Mm-hmm.
You coming off the death of the greatest Maryland Terp ever. Right. And then all the stuff that they found out about the program while he was there. Mm-hmm. So, you bring Wade. Wade was only there 3 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He was only there for 3 years. It wasn't like he was there for 15 years and all that shit happened. He was there for 3 years. Mm-hmm. And they said that the probation was because he lied to the NCAA. Not because guys wasn't going to class when Lefty was there, not because, the guys the GPA of the team was terrible, none of that. Because he lied to the NCAA. But we could do a whole show on that, but I'll digress a little bit on that. But, now on Gary Williams, yeah, Gary did bring the program back. He brought him back to relevance. Gary Williams is a hell of an X and O. You know what I'm saying? Gary is a hell of an X and O coach. He wasn't the greatest recruiter, and it was partially because he didn't particularly like the recruiting game. He didn't like what the recruiting game had become. So the team that he won the national championship with, let's think about it. Juan Dixon, who thought Juan Dixon was going to become Juan Dixon when he left Calvert Hall? I'll wait.
You got to give a lot of credit to Dave Dickerson too, because he was like one of the main recruiters.
Right,
and
but let's talk about the team though, because they didn't have like 5-star guys that won that.
No, that's what I mean. He saw something that a lot of us probably didn't see.
Yeah, so they won that championship.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, with a Juan Dixon, and this ain't no shot at Juan because he fooled everybody. Probably the only people that probably thought he was going to become what he became was the Dixon family. I don't know nobody that thought Juan Dixon even should have went to Maryland. People that I talked to at that time was saying he was making a mistake. They had Juan like a Towson State kind of guy. A mid-major kind of player. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a shot at him, but that's just what people were thinking. They were like, yo, he gonna go to Maryland and sit on the bench for 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. And man, but to everybody's surprise, he went down there and he took advantage of the opportunity, man, and turned the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Turned up, man. And I'm super proud, of what he did. You know what I mean? But nobody expected him to do that. Nobody expected him to become what he did. And then they got the national championship. But the team was not a team of 5-star, 5-star recruits, McDonald All-Americans, the type of players that most people think you gotta have to win a championship. You gotta build a team, and build a team the right way. And Gary built the team really in his image. Gary is a hard-nosed kind of guy. Steve Blake, tough point guard, man. Steve Blake was tough. And Steve did exactly what they needed on both ends of the court. You know what I'm saying? He played defense. He ran the offense, got everybody in position to do what they needed to do, man. Steve was tough. You know what I'm saying? Wilcox. Wilcox was like 6'9", 6'10", athletic.
Wilcox.
He was highly recruited.
Yeah.
Wilcox probably was the highest recruited guy on that team. What's my guy? LB, Lonnie Baxter. Undersized center.
I remember Baxter.
But Lonnie Baxter was tough, man.
Yeah.
Especially the 2 Final Four runs. He was tough, man. And I remember I remember John Thompson talking about when they played Stanford. I don't know if that was the first Final Four run when they ran up against Stanford with the Twins.
With the Twins. Lonnie destroyed them.
And Big John said them Twins are frauds. He said, boys are frauds, man. He said, man, Lonnie Bassett destroyed them boys, man. And the same run he ran up against Kansas when they had the boy
Gooden.
The white Gooden.
Yeah,
Drew
Gooden.
I mean, Drew Gooden.
Yeah, Drew Gooden. He gave him the business too.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, so you know, that just was a good team, man. Good hard-nosed team. And I think right after the championship, he's bringing all these 5-star, 4-star recruits. Travis Garrison, Mike Jones, and all them guys, man. And you ain't get nothing out of them dudes, man.
No.
You know, so I think Turgeon has brought some guys in. He did some good job recruiting. His coaching is what you know, I don't know whether it's the coaching, I don't know whether it's the guys not buying in, if they just don't believe in them. I never really figured it because they definitely are underachievers. You know, his team's always underachieved, man. They don't play hard all the time. They lose to teams that they should mop the floor with them. You know, so I don't know what to say about Turgeon. He's been a good coach in other places. So it's not like he was a dude they just picked out of the sky and said, you know, come on in here. He had a decent resume. He had a decent resume.
Right.
He wasn't you know, he wasn't a Final Four coach, or he was a good up and coming guy. They took a chance on him and didn't yield the results they wanted.
Yeah, I definitely had issues with Turgeon. I think that the University of Maryland is a top 20 basketball program, but I don't think Mark Turgeon is a top 20 coach. And so right there, you have a mismatch. And then also you're looking at the DMV area, the Baltimore, Washington, Virginia area, which is soaked with talent in basketball. Yeah. I mean, Baltimore, DC basketball is elite with the best of them. And it's such a dynamic community, DC and Baltimore, that Mark Turgeon don't match, man. He don't fit. He don't fit with this area. He don't fit. He's not the guy that can handle this area. It's too big for him and it's too dynamic for him. They definitely need to bring in a coach who is dynamic with that can flow with this area. I mean, this area, man, is like, this area is like booming. I mean, Mark Turgeon, I mean, that guy don't even fit, man. He belong out in the Midwest somewhere, or go back to Texas A&M or wherever he came from. I mean, we need somebody that is dynamic enough to handle this area. And to me, I would lean towards a Black coach to be able to bring in and recruit. I hear Juan Dixon's name. I was watching when they played George Mason, and I was watching how disciplined and how well coached that team was. And it was Kim English. Kim English was coaching. Baltimore native. B-more guy. NBA guy. And when I was watching that game, I said, I think I'm looking at the next coach of the University of Maryland. And so that guy hit me when I was watching that game. But Turgeon should have been gone a long time ago. And I think what's his name saved him, the young star Melo. When Melo came in, Melo Trimble came in, he saved Turgeon, because Turgeon was on the brink of being fired back then, and it was Melo Trimble coming in to save his job.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, Kenny, Jamal and Ben was talking about Bino Ranson. See, here's the thing. I don't blame Bino for going to, he went to, I think, DePaul, right?
DePaul, yeah. Yep.
See, the thing is, and you know, I lived there for a while. Chicago has a great basketball market.
Yeah.
I don't blame Bino one moment. We all can remember we were young. DePaul was a powerhouse. And I think that was Bino's goal, to keep all those Chicago area guys in town. And I think that's probably his goal to do that. Because once you get to that situation where you can hold down Chicago's sort of like New York City and LA. I mean, it's big time.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I know. And Ben said he wouldn't give him a raise. Yeah, but I don't fault him for going to DePaul at all.
Nah, he had to go do what he had to do.
I
And
think that was
it's odd. I was talking to somebody earlier today, and Bino's name came up, and they were saying, it's because people have been trying to, been calling his name for at least a head coaching job somewhere.
Mhm.
Had he stayed, he would have been the next guy up. He'd have been the longest serving assistant,
Mhm.
and he probably would have been named the interim coach had he still been in Maryland.
Mhm.
So
I find that to me that was some cracks being shown when you see a guy like Bino leave the way he did. You bring in Manning, and I'm not sure what they were paying him to come in, but it almost seemed like there was a connection between Danny Manning coming in and Bino looking for some more money.
yeah.
And then all of a sudden Bino leaves. I think the other guy leaves and goes to Marquette. Another coach. So to me, there was some signs. They say that in these last games, when Turgeon would walk on the floor, the fans were booing him.
They booing him.
Saying fire. They were yelling, "Fire Turgeon, fire
Yeah,
Turgeon."
yeah.
So things had gotten really bad, and I think widespread folks were just sort of tired of Mark Turgeon, and they was looking for a change. So I agree. Some guy on the job told me when they started talking about candidates for the job, he said they need to throw Brenda Free's name in the mix. So go to the women's team.
No, I'm all about equality, but no, I don't want her coaching the men's team. No, I love Brenda Freeze. Don't get me wrong.
No,
I don't.
That team.
No, but no, she got to worry about beating Connecticut and Baylor first.
Well,
Yeah,
I said it.
Well, you ain't got no argument for me, brother.
No, but Jamal is right. Jamal and Ben is right. Bino would have been, but see, you know what? All that all coincides with Danny Manning getting fired from Wake Forest too.
Yeah.
So, and they boys. So
they boys. And then maybe he knew that he was on thin ice. I think the contract was written in a way that if he didn't produce, they could kick him out of there. There's stipulations and whatnot in the contract. I think they said he might get a $5 million buyout. But if you're on thin ice and you got your boy in there as your assistant coach, so you leave and he gets the job. John Thompson set it up to where his guy could get the job, and I think he retired or quit in the middle of the season or whatever. But, they do that too. So that kind of come to my mind, Danny Manning coming in, and now he's the interim coach. So we'll see how it all play out. I don't look at Danny Manning as a good fit either for this area.
Yeah.
I forgot. I forgot that Turgeon was a miracle. I forgot.
That's what I said in the beginning. He was on.
I don't think he was on the championship team, but he was a teammate.
I believe he was. I gotta go and look at that squad.
I think if I'm mistaken, his last year was 87.
Yeah,
before the championship.
Yeah, because they won in 88.
They won in 88.
Who they beat, y'all?
Oklahoma, man.
Yeah.
You know what? And that's a game, man. I thought for sure Oklahoma was gonna win that thing. And they was rolling, man. Billy Tubbs had them boys scoring about 10 a game.
God bless Wayman Tisdale, man.
Ricky Grace.
Yeah.
Goddamn, Ricky Grace and Mookie Blaylock in that backcourt, and Stacey King in the middle, boy. They was tough. Harvey Grant.
Yeah, they was loaded.
Man, they was tough, man.
Loaded. They was loaded.
And goddamn Danny Manning came out and he put them Kansas boys on his back.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he was a great
Kansas
player.
boys on his back that night, man. I remember watching
great
that game,
college
man.
player. Great college player.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hey.
While we got a little blow, man, Jamal, I gotta give your pops a shout out, man. Jamal's dad is Mr. Leon Howard.
Yes, sir.
From the Lafayette Rec, man.
Yes, sir.
And so me and Jamal went to school together, BCCC. Jamal hooped up there too, but Shout out to my man Jamal. Shout out to your pops, man. I watched the Muggsy documentary last week, man. Muggs was very, very complimentary of your pops, man. And
yeah, that's great.
Talked about how instrumental, your pops was in his growth, man. Really saying if it wasn't for your pops, man, that he wouldn't have been who he was. He wouldn't have became the man he was. So shout out to your pops, man. And I know they just named the street after him down there a couple months ago.
Yes, sir.
I saw that video too, man. So I just want to give your pops some flowers, man. I don't know him personally, but I know you. So
respect, man.
Shout out to your pops, man. Good stuff, man. Very influential.
Hey Jamal, the Coach Dickerson have you running suicides?
Who was that?
He was playing a CCBC.
Yeah, he played up there with Roger Dickens. Yeah, he was
Roger Dickens. Had him running suicide.
Yeah, Big Raj had him up there running. Jamal was the point guard. Yeah. Yeah. So the name Warren Dixon has come up a lot. I remember watching his press conference when he got the job at Cotton. What was telling to me that day was the Under Armour guy. His name is escaping me. Who's the guy that runs Under Armour?
Shit.
Is it Steve something?
Yeah, his name is. I'm blanking on his name. He and Gary Williams was at that conference. They were at that press conference, and it just came over me then. I said, you know what?
Kevin Plank. That's
Kevin Plank. Yeah, Kevin Plank.
Kevin Plank.
I said, man, these guys are grooming Warren to become the guy at Maryland. That was my thought. That was my thought at that time.
Oh, okay.
That was my thought. And that's just my thought. This is not nothing that I know. I don't know nothing, no inside secrets or none of that. This is just my thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But Gary Warren Dixon and Gary Williams are tight. You know what I'm saying? And it's Warren Dixon that got Gary that championship. You know what I'm saying? And he talked about the day, and I did see what he said. They need a guy with some energy, more energetic than Warren Dixon, man. I mean, I don't know that Warren is the guy, but when you got people in high places that want this guy to be there, Warren Dixon could be the guy. Now it could be this year, at the end of the season, could be the guy. Maybe not. But I said that a couple of years ago that kind of Warren was kind of in line. They kind of groomed him to get this Maryland job. So I don't know. It's just my thoughts, and so I don't know what y'all think about that. I mean, he is a Maryland guy. He's probably the most decorated Terp in Terp history. Sometimes with the colleges, they like to keep stuff in the family. We went outside the family with Turgeon. We see how that turned out. So I'm sure they're gonna make a concerted effort to bring somebody from within the family to at least have a major part in what's going on moving forward.
What about Manning though? I mean, I like Dixon, but I just think that just looking at resumes,
yeah.
If I look at Manning's resume versus Warren Dixon's resume, and it's not like disrespect, but just looking at, I'm going to go with Manning.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's all. But it's all opinion. It ain't about disrespect. It is what it is. It's just opinion. Right. I don't know, man. Danny Manning. Like I looked this stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
He was at Tulsa. I think he got some Coach of the Year at Tulsa.
I remember he was at Tulsa.
So he's done something. Mm-hmm. He's got something on his resume. I don't know.
Wasn't he an NBA assistant coach?
He coached at Wake Forest for a while, I think.
He was assistant at Kansas.
I thought he was an assistant in the NBA.
Self. He may have been, but when I looked the stuff up, they just said he was assistant at Kansas.
Okay.
Under Bill Self, and then he got the job at Tulsa,
mm-hmm.
and then he got the Wake Forest job. He was in Wake for a couple of years. I don't think he did too well down in Wake in the ACC.
No.
But
he suffered.
Yeah. So
Listen, I got to run out real quick. I'm gonna be back in maybe 5 minutes.
Okay.
Take your
I
time,
just want
brother.
to say that one thing about Dixon, but I like him, but I just think that when it comes to resume,
A little
but
short.
may be a difference in terms of recruiting, since he's from the area.
Yeah, I don't know how good a recruiter he is and none of that. So,
Mhm.
so all right. So when looking for a college coach, right? You hear this stuff sometimes about resume, because I look at or they look at the hot assistants, usually somebody from a winning team, and they look at the assistant coaches on those teams. So I looked at for the years, all of the Duke guys were the hot assistants. And them guys really did nothing when they got the head coaching jobs. They didn't become what people was building them up to be. And I mean, you can go all the way back to even Johnny Dawkins has been solid as a head coach. He had a nice run with what school was that he had a nice little run with a couple years ago. Could be the school he's at now, Central Florida. Is it Central Florida that he's at?
Who's that?
Johnny Dawkins.
Dawkins.
I believe so.
He had a nice run when they had Big Taco. Remember they had Big Taco.
Taco Fall.
They had a nice run that year. Johnny Dawkins has had a nice run as a coach. A lot of them other Duke guys haven't really panned out. Wojciechowski, they built him up for years. He's gonna be this and that and the other. He flamed out up at Marquette. Then Doug Collins' son, he didn't do much up at Northwestern. I mean, you just go down the line of Duke guys, and I tend to stay away from the hot names. Even in pro sports, I don't like the hot name, the hot assistant, because it seems like it's a it kind of be like a little. It could be motive behind it. It could be friends of a friend, and we got the microphone, so we gonna keep your name living. Keep your name alive in the media, whatever. It's just hard to say, man. I think coaching is all about fit. Especially when you at that level. College sports is professional sports. Let's keep it 100. They get millions of dollars to win basketball games, and it's all about the fit. If and I always go back to my guy John Thompson, talking about you got to have a president of the college and the athletic director, and probably the people that's supporting those programs that's on board. The people with the money. They got to be on board with what you're trying to do in order to make it successful. And once you fall out of favor with the money, or you fall out of favor with the president of the school or whatever, it's gonna make it hard for you. So I'm one to think, man, that getting the right coach is just all about having the right fit, and all parties involved got to be on the same page. You know what I'm saying? It's not just we're gonna hire Golden State's assistant, and we see how that worked out for Bill Walton's son. He was the hot assistant when Golden State was kicking everybody's ass. And Bill Walton's son is going to be this, that, and the other. And I remember when he got the job, somebody, I forget who said it, because what's the job he took? Sacramento. And somebody said, well, good that he's going to Sacramento, but he's not taking Steph Curry and Klay Thompson with him. So
right,
that job ain't going to be as easy as we making it out to be, because he's going there,
Oh, Luke.
Yeah, I think Jamal made a good point too, man. He's talking about Kevin Norris, he was made a point. He's down, on the staff with Dawkins, but that would be a good kick. And he also mentioned Nut Rogers. I think that's a kind of a thing where it could bring some energy to the area. You got two legendary players from the city that could galvanize. I could see that. I guess, and now another thing is it give them a chance to enhance their name in the college ranks. And 95% of coaches start from where Nut and Stink are coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's, it could be anybody, whether it's a Dean Smith or John Wooden anyway. I mean, of course, Krzyzewski, So I mean, I think I can go along with that. I can see that. I think they could relate to a lot of the inner city ball players from not only Baltimore, but whether it's New York, Compton, if they choose to go to the Midwest and recruit in Detroit, Chicago, I think these two guys can, can help that. So I think that's a good look too.
I wouldn't be mad at even one of them guys getting a shot.
Yeah.
Now, since we throwing names out, what about Johnny Dawkins? He's a Maryland guy. He's right from that area down there. He's from that Landover area, correct?
Yeah,
DC metropolitan area.
Yeah, but if I'm gonna go Johnny Dawkins, I'm gonna go Juan Dixon first.
Well, I mean, we just throwing names. We just throwing names around.
Because of the cachet of you won a championship.
Yeah.
And you're a Maryland great. Johnny Dawkins is from DC.
Yeah.
But he's a Dookie.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, I was just throwing him out there.
If you're gonna do that, then you go with my man Sidney Lowe. I don't know where Sidney's at now, but I would rather have Sidney Lowe come in. Someone like that.
Would you?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Damn.
He's proven.
Yeah.
He's proven.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But see, at this point, if I'm Maryland, I'm throwing out names. I mean, shit, I'm even giving Mark Jackson a call.
Damn.
It ain't gonna happen.
Right.
But if I'm the athletic director, shit, you think I'm not gonna put in a phone call just to see what he's gonna say? He probably say no.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well,
Yeah.
throwing names out there. Somebody else said Mike Bray from Notre Dame. I heard his name earlier today. I'm not a Mike Bray fan. I'm not a fan of him.
He's okay. He's a good coach.
He's okay.
Yeah.
And so we usually when jobs open up, you start to hear the big names, all the big names you start to hear first. All the guys that probably won't come here. You hear those names thrown around. Possibilities, I don't know, man. I just like to see Maryland should be, like you say, a top 20 team every year. There's no way, like you say, with the area, as fertile as the recruiting grounds are, and just the 100-mile radius of the campus, 50 miles of the campus. There's no way that Maryland shouldn't be top 20 every year.
Every year.
Every year. They should be right there every year, in my opinion.
Big Fred, can I ask y'all a question? And I just want to go back to this recruiting question that Cheese brought up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that with this, whether it be Danny Manning or another coach, and they do this recruiting, wouldn't there be this say clash, so to speak, between Maryland and Georgetown in looking for that talent because they're closer in proximity?
I think that's always been there.
Yeah, it's gonna always be there.
Yeah, that's always been there. And it, with ebbs and flow, Georgetown was getting them at first,
mm-hmm.
and then Maryland, was getting them.
Mm-hmm.
They both was getting them. You know what I'm saying? So it's been up and down.
Mm-hmm.
It's been like, it's always been that.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been that there.
Mm-hmm.
Me being a Georgetown guy,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? I always pull for my Hoyas, but
Mm-hmm.
we can't seem to get it right.
Is it a question that players would rather go to Georgetown than Maryland? And if that's the case, is that something that needs to perhaps would change with a new coach?
It's hard to say, man, because these kids are, kids want different things, when they're being recruited. Some of them want to get away from home.
Mm.
Some of them want to be shown a lot of love,
Mm.
and from my understanding, like Maryland wasn't really showing a lot of love to a lot of kids at one time. So they was, getting up out of here. I follow Georgetown a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on some Georgetown in some Georgetown groups. So they a lot of people unhappy with Pat. They don't feel like it's happening fast enough. I mean, the motherfucker, they did win the Big East championship last year. I mean, they gotta stand for something, but some people just not gonna be happy with nothing short of believing you're gonna win the championship every year, which is the most unrealistic shit ever. You just want to feel like you got a shot, I guess, as a fan. You want to feel like my team got a chance to win it. And some people with Georgetown, they kind of tired of the in the family thing. You went from Big John to Craig Esherick to Little John to Pat. Now JT3 is not a Georgetown guy, but he's Big John's son. So you know what I'm saying? Is that thing. And I've learned a lot about Georgetown in the last couple of years that I didn't know over the years, that Georgetown wasn't family friendly to the guys that helped build the program. The Reggie Williams, the Michael Grahams, those guys were not like asked to come back. When they would come back, they weren't the players weren't really allowed to kind of mingle with them, that type of thing.
When you say come back, you mean like after they graduate?
Yeah. So if they, guys come back, they on campus for whatever reason. And I've heard ex-players say this, that, we will see you guys, like we will see you guys in the building or whatever, but it was like almost kind of stay away from them, don't bother them, that type of thing.
Wow.
So, you just learn a lot. And even the guys that I grew up to love, those guys, Reggie Williams and them guys, they weren't big John Thompson fans, man. They didn't have a lot of good to say about him because of the way he was. And John is an old school guy, was an old school guy, and I guess he was about order. You know what I'm saying? So, sometimes older people that order can get outdated. And it seemed like that kind of is part of the downfall, after because you think about it, in the 80s, Georgetown was the it team. And then toward the end of the 80s, I'd say 87, Reggie, they had the Reggie and the Miracles year. 88, they sucked. They were sucked in 88. And then 89, when Alonzo Mourning came, they were on the brink of the Final Four. They lost to Duke. But once Smitty and them guys graduated in 89, the program started kind of going back down. They had Mourning and Mutombo, but they didn't really have a lot else.
Right.
They had some serviceable guys. They didn't have a lot else after that. And then once those guys was gone, they were kind of middle of the pack until AI came.
That's right.
And AI was only there for 2 years.
Right.
So and once AI left, they kind of
went down.
that downward spiral. And then a couple years after that, Big John stepped away.
Right.
And he was one they said that didn't like to play the recruiting game. Because it's guys that, a litany of guys that told him, man, I would have came. All you had to do was ask me, I'd have came. Because like I say, in the 80s, Georgetown was the team. So, he could have had this pick of guys, but, Big John just chose not to, recruit that way. And then Gary Williams at Maryland, same thing. Gary just didn't want to play that AAU game, where he felt like he had to kiss the ass of these AAU coaches to get these players. You know what I'm saying? And rightly or wrongly, he chose to not do it, and his program suffered. The program suffered in a major way because Gary's last few years were not, not years that he probably proud about.
Yeah.
So
Gary, he stayed like 5 years too long in the program. And to me, again, when it comes to Maryland coach and Maryland basketball, you go back to Lefty Driesell, who brought in Albert King and Buck Williams and Ernie Graham and even Moses Malone was coming to Maryland. I mean, the guy was bringing in highly recruited ball players. His coaching and everything wasn't that great, but he was certainly a tremendous recruiter. You talk about Bob Wade. Bob Wade had Brian Williams come all the way from California, top center, signed him. He had Gerard Mustaf, one of the top recruits coming out. He had Alonzo Mourning locked in to come to Maryland, but Alonzo Mourning got a little afraid because Brian Williams signed. And he said, I ain't gonna get no time. So he went to Georgetown, but he was originally going to Maryland. He got Rudy Archer, the top JUCO guy coming, Keith Gatlin, them guys coming to Maryland. And for me, Bob Wade could be my coach at Maryland. For me, Lefty could be my coach. I don't want Gary Williams and I don't want Mark Turgeon, because if you can't recruit like Gary Williams, you can't be a top college coach. And if you take away those couple of years where Juan Dixon and all them guys came together, that was like a miracle, them guys coming together. If you take them years and pull them out of Gary Williams' resume, he was not a top coach. So to me, you got to bring somebody in dynamic. I look at Michigan with Juwan Howard there. I look at Penny Hardaway down there at Memphis. You got to get me somebody dynamic, somebody who can relate to this DMV Baltimore area as the coach. Is it Juan Dixon? I don't know about his resume. I like his name. I like him in the area, but you got to bring me somebody in there. To me, from Maryland, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody that's recognizable, somebody that can relate to this area, somebody that can go into Baltimore, go into DC, and be able to command respect and have people, just hyped about wanting to go to that school because it's in a good location. It's goddamn women all over the place, man. I mean, these young guys want to be around some beautiful women. That area, man, good gosh, man. I mean, what's the name of the arena they play at? Is it the Xfinity or what? Yeah, man. I mean, they got a tremendous venue that they play at. The nice area, the women, the clubs. I mean, come on, man. Bring me somebody in here that's dynamic. Mark Turgeon was a failure. He had one Sweet 16 team. He was a failure. Period. The guy was a straight failure. 10 years wasted. Yeah. To me, this they need somebody dynamic. Bring me somebody. I would take a Rasheed Wallace or give me somebody, man. I need somebody dynamic, man. I ain't looking for these bullshit ass coaches coming in here and shit all tight. Give me somebody that can relate to these brothers, man, down here that's balling. That's what I want. Yeah. Somebody that can relate.
That's it, man. And
I can dig it.
It's got to be somebody that's going to spark some energy, to give a shot of energy to the program.
Absolutely.
Somebody that's going to come in and have shit lit up.
Yeah.
And everybody going to be talking about Maryland.
That's it.
You want Maryland to be on that front page or the lead story or, stuff like this on podcasts. You want people talking about that Maryland basketball program, man. So
yes,
whatever it's going to take to give them that shot in the arm, that's what needs to happen. That's what needs to happen in these next few months. So of course, Danny Manning going to play this season now. I don't see them making a change now. Danny, he gonna ride this season out.
Right.
And he'll get an opportunity to show if
he'll be able to show his stuff.
He get to show if he's the guy, because they got some ball players down there. It's not like the cover is bad.
They do.
Right. They got a couple ball players down there. Good young ball players too. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Danny finish this season out. And it's still early in the season. They only played 8 games.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So he still got a good 30 games left.
Anytime. I like the move. I like the early move. I like them getting them out of here now. That shows me that this guy, what's his name, Damon Evans, is making moves, man. He made a move early. Everybody's surprised about the timing. I like it. It's kind of great. 8 games into the season, he ain't satisfied. Mark Turgeon, you out. That shows me that this guy got some testicular fortitude and he's impatient and he's looking for some quick changes. So let's see what happens. I'm excited about that. And just to kind of piggyback off of that, I think our brother Loxley is in some trouble as the as the
Oh
head
my
coach of
God,
the football team. All the
Oh my
recruits
goodness.
are leaving. He's
Yeah.
had all these top recruits.
Come on.
Terrence Lewis, I think the number 2 linebacker, 5-star, he's transferring. The other linebacker who was a top, he was like the number 4 outside linebacker. He played this year. He's gone. AJ Swan, he had a quarterback coming in who was dynamic. Man, this guy was something. He's leaving. I think Loxley's in some trouble. I watched them. I'm not impressed with his coaching at all.
They should give him an award for the most losses by 50. Unbelievable. Hey, but you know what? Jamal Howard, you gotta get him on the show because he makes some great points. I don't know if you guys, but
Jamal's a basketball guy.
Yeah, Jamal, I see you, man, and I'm enjoying your comments, man. I really appreciate them. You make some great points. Sam Cassell is another guy.
There you go. That's a beautiful.
And he brought it. That's a great. Now Sam has that experience now.
Yeah.
Like you say, Sam is dynamic.
Yep.
Sam can adjust and get through to the younger players. He had a toughness.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's a great one.
But would he take it?
See, that's another thing. Would he take it? I don't know.
Because right now he's assistant coach with Philly under Doc.
Yeah.
And he's been writing with Doc since Doc was with the Clippers.
Elise said Philly came back and beat the Hawks tonight. Yeah.
Say it again.
Came back and beat the Hawks tonight. Philly came back. That's what Elise Samuel said.
That's another one.
Yeah.
Who they got center over there? Embiid.
Yeah.
Embiid.
Joel Embiid.
Yeah, that guy. Gobert, Embiid, same cup of water.
Damn,
same cup of water.
Did you just put Joel Embiid in the same cup of water with Rudy Gobert?
Right.
Same cup of water.
Damn.
Oh God, damn.
Damn, Brooks. That's damn.
I told you, man.
Sorry,
I told
man.
you. He was up there, man, breathing that New York air, man, for a few days.
In the words of Suge Knight, if you don't want your center out there shooting threes all up in the video,
all up in the video.
Damn. Okay, damn.
You don't want your center.
Damn.
Now, to be honest with you, I don't know which one I'm more disappointed with, Gobert or Embiid. I think I would go with Embiid.
No,
Embiid
really?
is just like one disappointment waiting to happen.
Wow.
He's just a disappointment waiting to happen. He's going to turn the ball over. He's going to cry and bitch. It's going to happen.
Rodney said, "What's in that bottle, CB?"
Damn.
Oh no, this is all H2O.
Right.
Wait a minute, but what's in that cup?
But this here
is
different.
He got that lean.
Damn. Yeah, that's tough there. I had to think about that. You got me a little fumbled here, man. God damn.
No, now I'll look at Giannis. Now look at his trajectory as a player. He has steadily improved. Can you say the same thing about Embiid? Can you say the same thing about Gobert? A disappointment waiting to happen, a turnover waiting to happen. You know it's going to happen.
At the wrong time, I guess. Yeah. I mean, he's a good player, though.
He's a big man.
He'd be
but
fine.
want to pass his ass out on a 3-point line when your ass needs to be down in the paint, imposing your will.
He needs
That's where you're supposed to be. Man. That's your area.
Yeah.
That's your area.
Yeah.
Impose your will. He's got the size. He's got the footwork. He's got the skill to do it. Impose your will in the paint, not in the perimeter. You can't control a game. A big man gonna control the game from the.
Damn. Hey.
Damn.
Oh shit.
I'm sorry. When I see that man dribble the ball out, I just put my head down. No, you're supposed to be in the paint.
Yeah.
Now, occasionally, now not to say like no to occasionally, all right. But he lives out there instead of being down in the paint. No, he's a disappointment.
Rodney said it's the new NBA.
Yeah, with respect, with all due respect,
But he's not good at it.
You know, we
That's
all dinosaurs.
you got to be
We
good
all,
at
you
it.
know, we all grew up with the game played a certain way.
True.
So big men today do not want to sit in that paint and bang and get beat up. You know, they want to show that they can got a little bit of stuff with them. So they want to step out there to that 3-point line and they want
That don't win no championships.
they want to dance with it. You know what I'm saying? They want to show you they got a little something, man. They want to show they got some skills, man. You know, I mean, Embiid is considered to be one of the best big men in the league. You know.
Yeah, but 20 years ago, he beat number 7, number 8 on the list.
Number 7, number 8 now.
God
Oh,
damn.
shit. God damn. Hold up. I got to do a Dean on that.
God damn.
Boy, CB got some shit with him.
Damn. God.
I'm sorry.
Damn.
I've watched this dude since college. Watch this dude break his fucking leg. It's one thing after another with him. I traveled up to Philly when they was in the first round.
Yeah.
Turns the ball over. I've seen it, man. This guy before the end of the game, he takes his jersey off and sits on the damn bench, crying like a little bitch.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm sorry, man.
It's almost like
I'm sorry, man.
It's almost like he played for the Brooklyn Nets or something. I'm just saying, you know.
You say that shit tongue in cheek, man.
Yeah. Almost like he a diva and they play for the Brooklyn Nets. I don't know.
Where's my disclaimer?
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, man, you're a little slow with that today, Coach. Come on,
and Brooks got me all fumbled up, man. You know, when he had goddamn Rudy Gobert and oh my God.
Jamal
man.
said everybody on my team playing the point. That's you as a coach. What you from a coach's perspective, Jamal's right. That's where you coming from, CB. I can understand, man.
Damn.
I'm still stuck on him dropping that name, Sam Cassell, man.
That's a great one, man.
Sam,
Jamal, that's got to be the comment of the night, man.
Yeah, Sam is a guy that is definitely overdue for an opportunity as a head coach, man.
Wow.
Definitely overdue for a head coach opportunity, man.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, never mind the fact that he's a Baltimore guy.
Yeah.
You know, Sam is just is due. You know, he's due an opportunity, man, because you know, just like they said, the work he did with John Wall and Bradley Beal when he was here, and he was only with the Wizards 1 year, right?
Right.
1 or 2. He wasn't here.
It was real brief.
Real brief time, but the work he did, and them guys speak highly of him. You know, I mean, everybody that's worked with him speaks highly of him and the work that he does with the guards and all the players really. Everybody that I heard talk about Sam speak very highly of Sam, man. And just knowing what I know about him, that he's a basketball, you know, savant. You know, the motherfucker know this, you know. And I remember
I read the same thing.
I remember a guy talking about him back when I was in high school. Me and Sam was in high school, you know, around the same time. And guy was talking about him, just talking about how tough he was, man. And you know, I never got a chance to see him play in high school, of course, but you know, man, I've never heard nothing but positive about Sam Cassell, and he's shown it at every level. You know, be it at Dunbar, be it at San Jacinto, be it at Florida State, you know, Houston. You know what I'm saying? Every step of the way, man, he's been a factor. You know, he's been a factor. Understood his role. Understood what his role was, played the hell out of it. And he's the type of guy you can always count on, man. So and he paid his dues as a coach. You know what I'm saying? He been on the sidelines for a few years, man. I mean, you know, I'm hopeful because I think Sam wants to be an NBA head coach.
Didn't he interview for Sparta 2 last year? I thought I heard his name being bounced around.
Yep.
Yeah, his name been tossed around a little bit here lately as a head
You know
coach.
what? I got a quick Sam Cassell during back in 1990. I was going to Dundalk Community College. So before that season, our coach put us in the Charm City Basketball League. which they held the games at Lake Clifton High School. And you know, a lot of all the top players in the city was playing, and we had finished our game. So we out there talking, and you know, for about I don't know how long, because the next game Sam was playing. And so we out there talking, and me and Charles standing, we hear the crowd roaring. This is about a half an hour, 45 minutes later. Sam's team was down like about 17, 18 points. From that point on, this dude put on a show that you would not believe. I mean, I kid you not. Sam Cassell and a guy named, there's two people that come to mind when I think of the streaks I've seen in person on summer leagues. Sam Cassell that day, I know he scored like about 18, 19 in a row. And a guy named Booby James.
Oh, yeah.
Booby James, who went to UNLV.
Know what Dunbar got.
One day down the dome, Booby James, I kid you not, he hit about 9 threes in a row. On fire.
Yeah.
I mean, you talking about 23, 24 feet. He was lighting it up. I never forget there's two people to this day. It was that day of Sam and that game with Booby James. Yeah.
And Jamal said Sam one of the only guys to win the BNBL championship every year. Every age level. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy, man.
So Sam's right hand man, I seen his show up close and personal. That motherfucking Kirk Lee.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I've seen him shoot the motherfucking lights out the gym.
Yeah.
And I was happened to be on the other side of one of them, and I'm playing with some guys that I didn't know. I jumped on this team in the league because they needed somebody, so I was free that day. I went to play, and I look on the other side. I didn't know none of the other guys, but I knew who the fuck Kirk was.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, yo, who guarding him? Dude kept saying, I got him. I said, yo, listen to what I'm saying. Whenever we lose possession and they get possession, you got to check him then. Don't wait till don't run half court and wait for him. Man, Kirk was stepping over half court, letting him go. You waiting for him in the paint. I said, nah, you got to play him. I think he had 30 at the half. And shot all threes. He did shoot number threes the whole first half. And I don't think he missed one of them. You know what I'm saying? And at the last one, he was on a 1-on-0 fast break, and he stopped at the goddamn 3-point line.
Damn.
And knocked that bitch down before the buzzer went off.
He did that.
You know what I'm saying? So
and Jamal said his father had Sam playing behind Kirk Lee.
Yeah. Yep.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, I heard.
But I tell you what, man. I'll tell you what, to give, and this will bring you in, CB. Kenny Smith and another guy from up your area, Mario Ellie. They had a lot of love for Sam Cassell, man. They had a lot of love for Sam Cassell, man.
Mario Ellie.
Played for Houston.
Yeah.
Mario was a dog, man. He was a dog, man.
Right.
Mario was hardcore, man. Good player.
So Maryland, get y'all shit together, man. Get a coach down there and get this program back on the map.
Absolutely.
And Georgetown, y'all next. Big Pat, let's get it together, big fella.
Come on, Pat.
I need them Hoyas to be, back making some noise again.
Kenny, you gotta send Jamal an invite, man. Have him come on with us sometime, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to reach out to him.
Yeah, man.
Jamal's a hoop guy. You know what I'm saying? He's a hoop guy, so he know the game.
That's good stuff, man.
Very well. Next thing I had on the docket is these college football coaches, man, that's taking these jobs before their season is over with. We saw Oklahoma coach leave for USC this week, and then Notre Dame coach left for LSU this past week. And both teams, if I'm not mistaken, are bowl eligible. So, they kind of leaving teams behind, go finish the season out
Right.
I'll tell you, I got some issue with that. I got issue with it because you know, coaches they hold these kids pretty much under the fire, you know, with these scholarships. You know, you gotta honor your commitment, and you know what I'm saying. And if the kid want to leave, you gotta get released out of the scholarship and all this old crap, man. They play games with some of these kids. It's loosening up now, you know, with the transfer portal, so the kids are able to they moving a little more freer than they were a few years ago. But you can't be my coach talking about loyalty and, you know, it's for the family and we are this and we are that. And then, you know, we got an opportunity to go at least to a bowl game. The season is not over yet. And you didn't bolt it, you know, for the you know, the next big job. You know, you ran for the money. I got an issue with that, you know, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? I can't begrudge a motherfucker going to get paid. You know, go get your money. But should these schools be able to recruit coaches at this time of year, or should it be once the season is over? You know, then pursue these jobs, because they, you know, the Oklahoma coach that took the USC job, he talking about all that shit happened overnight. You know, it was a phone call made, it was some discussions had, and the offer was put on the table, and he took the offer, and you know, Sunday morning he was off to USC. Fuck out of here, man. Them conversations was happening long before the day, that Saturday. You know what I'm saying? I call BS on that. I call BS on that, man. I think it's dirty, because you got 100 kids on the football team, on the college football roster. You got a lot of kids, and some of the kids they don't know. I get that. Right. But those prime players that they bringing in, and they, you know, we're going to win the national championship, whatever the pitch is to get the guys to come there. And you know, when first thing smoking, you hightailing them out of there. So I just got some issues. What y'all fellas think?
I have a question.
I think it's kind of hypocritical when you have a coach who's continuously preaching loyalty to the kids, and you know, we're all together, we're one, and all this kind of stuff. It definitely sounds very hypocritical, but I think that it goes back, and I may have mentioned something about this in a previous episode, that a relationship is a relationship. And the very characteristic of a relationship is that shit can end at any moment. It can change at any moment. It's continuously changing. And somebody can be married for 40 years and got 10 grandchildren and some great grandkids. And somebody could wake up that next morning and say, look, I'm sick of you, I'm out. And I think that's just it's just the nature of a relationship, whether it's the college coach with the university, or business partners, or man and wife, or whatever. Two brothers, a relationship is a relationship. And whoever came up with the word relationship was very wise to put ship on the end of it. Because when the ship is out there in the ocean, you ain't no telling what the hell gonna happen. There's gonna be storms, all kinds of stuff can happen, and that ship could eventually sink. So I think it's just the nature of a relationship, man, that it can just change at any given moment, no matter how it looks. And this looks hypocritical when these guys are recruiting kids and saying all these things and then bolt like that. But again, a relationship is a relationship.
I got a question.
Good.
I don't pay too much attention to college football. I focus more. I like college basketball a whole lot more. But I do have a question regarding like some of these moves in the last week or so. Wouldn't the college so take the case with this guy at Notre Dame, Kelly, and he went to LSU. So at some point, LSU went to him and said, "We want you." Kelly, at some point, now you tell me if I'm right or wrong, went to Notre Dame and said, "Look, LSU, they offering me this." And Notre Dame, yeah, I don't care what they offer you. You got a contract here. Or, okay, go ahead. We'll deal with it. So how does that work? I mean, I'm just trying to understand the existing contract that a coach has and breaking that contract, and the school letting them break in that contract so he can go to a rival school.
Yeah, I would imagine the way those contracts are written up, that there's an out. You know, it's got to be an out.
Yeah, makes sense.
Some kind of language that say, you know, if X opportunity comes up,
right,
and I'm interested, that, you know, I could, buy out, or however they get out of those contracts, because it's happening so much.
Right.
You know, and if I'm not mistaken, that's how Kelly got to Notre Dame. He left Cincinnati right around the same time of year. You know, right before that season was over, he left Cincinnati to take the Notre Dame job. And he wasn't a very popular pick for that position, if I'm not mistaken. There were other names that they wanted, because Notre Dame is, you know, supposedly the, you know, prestigious job in college football. And so, you know, they wanted a motherfucking Newt Rockney, I guess. I don't know who they wanted to be the head coach at that time. You know, I don't remember, but they wanted, you know, whoever the biggest name was at the time. You know, that's who they wanted. It could have been Saban, I don't know. You know, but they wanted like a huge name. They wanted a big name because they're Notre Dame, you know. Okay. And it's almost like they settled for Brian Kelly when they got him, you know. And he did get him to I know he got the one championship game, got his ass kicked, but they got there.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's been to more than that one championship game, but I mean he hadn't been a failure at Notre Dame. A long shot, but he going to LSU, this SEC country, and they're not going to be as patient with him as they were at Notre Dame. I can promise you that. And he's in the same division in the SEC with Alabama, so we know what Saban doing every year.
Right.
You know, now what was the issue with the coach that LSU had previous, the guy that just won the national championship a couple of years ago? I never even got that.
Well, Coach O had some things going on where they, you know, with some sanctions coming down, supposedly, with LSU that involved him. So his particular stance was, I love the university, so I'm going to step down. Or they did a mutual agreement where, but I
wasn't even paying attention to that. I didn't even realize he wasn't there anymore.
I'll backtrack to what you guys are talking about. A lot of these, and you have a lot of these contracts where they do have sort of, like Rodney was saying, a buyout clause. Now, from my understanding, the athletic director at Notre Dame, once Brian Kelly said that, you know, he's going to LSU, the athletic director said, well, we can't really match that.
Right.
So that's how that went down. Now, when Kenny posed this question, when I asked him, I tried to think about it different angles. Like, Kenny, this is how much I respect your show. I said, I'm going to try to come up with different ways that, from different angles, from the parents' angle, from the coach's angle, and the conference angle. As a parent, if you come in my house and you say, okay, I want your son to come here. He's a top recruit. We're going to take care of him. And you say, but I'm telling my son, you heard everything he said. But the truth is that this guy can leave in any year. So what you got to do is make a decision based on where you want to go, education, how far you think you can go in this system. And do not be surprised if he leaves, because that's the track record with a lot of coaches. No one's loyal in the NCAA. No one's loyal in life, pretty much.
Pretty much.
So At that point, then you're looking at it from the university aspect. Texas and Oklahoma are cleared to join the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
You think they went to each one of their partners or each one of them teams in the Big 12 and say, look, man, we want to go to the SEC, so we want you to put you in our good graces? Hell no. They rolled out the same loyalty that Oklahoma wants with their coach. They didn't give to the Big 12. It's a dirty business.
Yeah.
And my man out there, he's a USC. He's 7 miles from Santa Monica Beach, 10 miles from Malibu. I'm sorry, 20 miles from Malibu. Come on. Come on.
You wouldn't want to stay in Oklahoma?
I mean, Norman's great. In football season, probably. But I mean, you know. But so yeah, but I mean, it's no.
You wouldn't want to stay in cold Norman, Oklahoma.
Yeah, but you
rather go to the beach.
Yeah, but you gotta be real with these kids, man. And then once you step, just like Big John said, sometimes even though you're still a kid, now NCAA forces you to be a grown man really quickly. You ain't got time to be no wet behind the ears. You got to learn on the job and say, look, I knew this was gonna happen. What's my next plan? Because I'm not going to sit there and sulk and say, oh, man, my coach, just like my man, he got 4 of his recruits already going to USC now. Come on, man. They following him.
Right.
This is a business.
Yeah. Oh, well, we ain't no doubt about that.
Yeah.
You know, ain't no doubt about that. But, you know, part of that business is being like a used car salesman.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you know, this is a top of the line 1997 Nissan Maxima that we selling you here, and
absolutely,
it's only had one owner. It's never been in an accident, you know, and it's only got 95,000 original miles on it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you can drive this car for another 15 years. You know, just trust me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Trust me. You know, I ain't gonna tell you that the motherfucker was in Hurricane Katrina and flooded like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna tell you that.
I ain't gonna tell you that part. Exactly.
No.
I ain't gonna tell you that's been refurbished. You know, I ain't gonna tell you that. But come on down here to University of Kenny, University of goddamn Brooks.
The engine wall is all shattered and shit.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'll say, and I could be wrong about this assessment, but you look at a guy like Deion Sanders at Jackson State. There is a coach.
He's just getting an award of some sort.
He got player. I mean, coach of the year.
Coach of the year.
But see, here's the thing: it'd be a guy like that I tell my son, I say, you know what? He's getting exposure there. And my heart of hearts, if it ain't health related, I don't think Deion would leave Jackson State. The only place I think he would leave to go for Jackson State is Florida State.
Florida State, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But if you saying somebody who I think will be loyal to your son or daughter, or, it would be him, and he could flip the script because he's saying, you know what? All the turmoil going in there. Well, guess what? I got Under Armour bringing us money. I done filled up this stadium 3 times. The last three games of the year. My team went 10-1. I'm Deion Sanders. I'm bringing you all the exposure you need. I got Troy Aikman coming in here. I got Rex Ryan coming in here. Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. He could flip with that HBCU. He could flip the script on a lot of these coaches who might be tripping and say, you know what? I would not be surprised if Deion Sanders has a top 25 recruiting class in the next 4 or 5 years. And when I say top 25, I mean the whole country. I can see it. That's just my take. But
you know what, Cheese? When you were talking about Deion just now, I can't remember the brother's name. I was thinking about this coach, and and he recently changed schools. I can't remember his last name.
Shaka
Shaka
Smart.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart. And I believe, did he go to Texas?
He's up at Marquette now.
Yeah,
Marquette.
he was at Texas.
He was
He
at
left
Texas.
Texas, right? I'm sorry. He left Texas and went to
Mhm.
Marquette. And you know, when I was listening to you talking about Dion, and you know, I thought about another black coach. I'm thinking about Shaka Smart, and the question that came to my mind is, I wonder if the students that he had there at Texas, if they had any idea, any inkling that he could possibly, their coach Shaka, that he could possibly move on. And the reason why I asked that is because I when you talk about Dion and him being a black coach and such, you know, and not to say that Shaka is on his level, but I just wonder in terms of like what Dean was talking about in terms of that relationship, because you know the coaching and the recruiting is about relationships, right? So if you know, and I don't remember how many years he's been there, because he was at the school in Virginia before that, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
And he was well known. He was well known there, you know. In particular, I remember in the community as well. And so when you was talking about Dion, I just wonder. I was like, damn, man, you know, I wonder how not just like how his players felt, but did they have like any idea? Like do they even come into the season like, well, damn, man, you know, he may be gone before the half of the season, or I just wonder. It was just a question that came to my mind regarding Shaka's plays at Texas.
I think it's a distinct difference.
Okay.
Number one, you coming to Jackson State, and the two things that Shaka didn't have at Texas is two sons playing there. And I think that laid the foundation for Dion at Jackson State. Now his son is they both on second team, all SWAC. What is his son was offensive player of the year, something like that. But my point is, they laid the foundation for him at Jackson State.
I see your point.
So at this point, it's maybe in CB, maybe I'm thinking about the legacy aspect. You know what I mean? So that could be different, but you know, it's a good thought though. I mean, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, and I'm just thinking just now, because I'm pretty sure at some point it's going to happen. And what I mean is, at some point, another school is going to come to Dion. Hey, Dion, you've done a fucking great job there at Jackson State.
That's already happened.
Right? And so I'm pretty sure they're going to throw every fucking thing like, look, man, we'll name this bank after you. And do you think that like probably now, of course, he's going to stay. But do you think that that's something that can change 3 years from now, 3 to 5 years from now? Or do you think that he can be like the brother who was coach at Grambling for so many years and got like the number one count in W's?
Yeah, that's a good question, man.
I think with that, it's going to be interesting to see once his boys are gone. You know, once his sons are gone, you know, once they used up their eligibility and they move on, I think that's going to be kind of the test to see whether he hangs around there for, you know, years to come, or he's, you know, looking to make a move after that. I think right now with his sons, you know, the youngest son being a redshirt freshman, the quarterback, I think he's a redshirt freshman.
Okay.
And the older one, he transferred in. I'm not sure what year he's in.
Okay.
So, you know, there'll be a couple years where he'll, you know, I think he'll be there at least, you know, until his kids are gone.
Okay.
The test is going to be once they're gone.
Right.
What is it that's going to hold him there?
Right.
You know, is it that he loves Jackson State and he wants to see this thing through? Or, you know, was it, you know, making sure that his boys got what they needed and the guys that he brought in? Because I don't think he's just there for his boys. I don't think he's that. But I think once his boys are done, you know what I'm saying, is what is the next move for Dion at that point? Because I mean, money not gonna be motivating. I don't think money gonna motivate him.
No, he's got
money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and you know, just what I've seen of him over the last few years, he seemed like a pretty loyal guy. Be it with the family or, you know, whatever else he's doing, you know, he seemed to dive into something with both feet, and he dedicate himself to that. You know, so I think, like say, at least for the next 5 years, he'll be at this Jackson State. I believe that. You know, I believe that he'll hold on to that Jackson State job for the next 5 years, at least 4 or 5 years.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think he's going to keep that damn endorsement with Affleck for the next 4 or 5 years as well?
Yes. And it's glad you brought that up, because I was going to say something. Those are things, and Jackson State fucked around, got a gold mine.
Yeah.
I said this last year when they hired him on Facebook. They fucked around, got a gold mine, because intangible things like that, they weren't getting.
Right.
Affleck, Cadillac, Under Armour, these endorsement deals, not only his son, but other players on the team that wasn't getting anything.
Right.
And then he holds them accountable as a Black man in America.
Mm-hmm.
This dude has his play, and I said it before, the way he carries them young men to different games, he doesn't tolerate no bullshit. When they went out on the field acting up after the game a couple weeks ago, he got on them right away. Every game, he has his young men coming to the game in suits.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a different vibe. It's a different way. And like I said before, white coaches can do it. But when you got a room full of brothers, a Black man speaks differently.
Yeah, that's true. It's true, man. And I mean, you know, because coaching is so much more than X's and O's. You know, it's understanding the room. You know, it's understanding who's in the room. You know, understanding that everybody in the room situation is not the same. You know what I'm saying? Understanding that everybody in the room, you know, may look at you a certain kind of way, right, you know, as the leader.
Right.
So, you know, the guys that do that job well have an understanding of how to work that room.
Right.
And not only how to work that room, but to have the people around them as coaches, you know, on the coaching staff that understand the importance of working that room.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To understand the importance of knowing that room. You know, in the old days, you had these old school coaches that it was their way or the highway. You know, and you either had to deal with it or pack your shit up and you get on out of here and go somewhere else. You know, we move beyond that. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of, you know, just information that the kids are privy to in 2022. You know, just the access that they have to what's going on. You know, back in the old, let's just say in the 80s. You know, the 80s and 90s, man, it wasn't as easy to find out what's going on at, you know, Georgia if you go to school at Texas. You know what I'm saying? Now, with technology, man, you can reach out to somebody. I mean, you know, back in the day, you had to make a long distance phone call. You might have had to write a letter. You know what I'm saying? Just to talk to your buddy that they go to school with, and you know, in a whole nother situation to find out, you know, what's going on over there. Like, what is your program going? What's going on at your program? You know, so it's just so many layers to being a coach. Mm-hmm. And a guy like Dion, who you know, comes from humble beginnings, mm-hmm, you know, became a superstar at Florida State, you know, became a Hall of Fame NFL football player, was a decent baseball player. You know what I'm saying? So this is a guy that understood marketing. Before he made $1, he understood marketing because, you know, he talked about how he created the primetime character.
Right.
You know, how he
Start
created
singing,
that
Cheese.
whole thing.
Mhm.
Start singing.
Yeah, it must be the money.
It's turning me.
So, you know, Dion talked about how he, you know, number one, as a college student, he figured out, listen, I got to do something to kind of get people looking at me. You know, I do what I do on the field, but I need something else. So prime time came about.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And he prime timed us all the way to the motherfucking Hall of Fame, man.
Dion. All
Well,
this.
Yeah, so you know, here's a guy that understands, number one, like you say, what it is to come from humble beginnings, to come from nothing, which, you know, there's a good portion of these high level college football and basketball players that do. You know, they come from humble beginnings, man. So he speak that language. You know, he created prime time as a college guy at Florida State. You know, and now with these kids having opportunity to get the name and image and likeness money, who else would you ever talk to about marketing yourself in prime time? You know what I'm saying? So he could come at these kids from so many different angles, you know, and he just a genuine guy. Cause I didn't watch his little, you know, watch some of his the shows he had, not the documentary, just like the reality shows he had.
Mm-hmm.
Where he had the one where he was the coach at Prime Prep, you know, the high school that he created, man. Just the connection he had with them kids, man, and you know how he related to them kids and how they looked to him, and how he is a guy, you know, that made more money than he needed. He probably could have been retired and went off somewhere and just enjoyed his money, enjoyed his life, man, enjoyed his kids, and went fishing every day. But he chose to you know, go back and open the school. And once that school closed, he went to another school and he was still giving back. You know, so that alone, you know, and he's not the only one, but he's just the example we're talking about. You know, that he understands how to work that room.
Yeah.
How to work that room.
And I think we got to look at, when it comes to this guy, to me, we have to look at the enormity of what he's doing at the HBCU in the Black college and bringing talent there and trying to uplift it. I hope that his commitment is not exactly to Jackson State, but it's through Jackson State, and his commitment is to HBCUs all across the nation. Because if his vision is what I think it is, I think his vision is to really uplift these Black universities across the country. If you can bring it to Jackson State and make that as an example, through his example, then maybe other primetime coaches can go to these Black universities and start to uplift these colleges and start bringing major money to these universities. Football is the biggest money-making sport at these universities. Texas and Florida State and all these universities are making mounds and mounds of money off of Black talent. Why not make money for the Black talent for the Black colleges? A lot of these schools could be struggling financially. What if the Fab Five went to a Black university? It wasn't the coach at Michigan that made them almost national champs. It was the talent that was there. If you take that same Fab Five and you take them to Howard, they still gonna kick ass because they was talented. Now, they would have really been a true Fab Five if you go to a Black university and take them to the national championship game. I mean, to me, what Dion is doing could switch the balance of where all this talent is going and this money. It's a money thing. So I don't know how far they will support him if he starts to really be strong enough to lift up this Jackson State team, which will also lift up the Howards and the Gremlins and so forth and so on, and all these Black talented Black athletes start going there instead of going to the typical big time Alabamas and Auburns and so forth and so on. So I hope that Deion's vision is bigger than his son's. I hope his vision is bigger than Jackson State. And I hope it's just through his sons, through Jackson State, that he's trying to lift up the HBCUs across the nation. And in doing that, he's uplifting Black Americans as a whole and keeping a lot of that money that we generate from our natural talent, keep it right in our community. So I think what he's doing, man, is big, 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 big. And I'm supporting him. And he was prime time on the field. But the shit he doing now is really prime time.
Absolutely, Dean. Yeah, you always drop the fucking mic. That's why I hate talking behind you. God.
And Deion, man, to me, he's a top 5 all-time great NFL player. I think he's underrated, you know, because he was definitely the greatest corner to ever play the game. I mean, they called shutdown corners after him. The guy was an offensive threat. You know what he did with punt returns and kickoff returns. I mean, the dude was a threat on the field. Who in the world can play the corner position and the team totally not throw to your side the whole game?
That's a very underrated
He's a top 5 NFL all-time great.
But the point you made, and I know,
but he's prime time now.
He when you mentioned raising the level HBCU, that was one of the first things he said when he got there, because he even went as far as telling other HBCUs, when are you going to start putting your kids' names on the back of their jersey? And I mentioned this before. He said, a lot of these kids, they're the first ones in their family go to college. Let them be seen. Put their name on the back of the jersey. He said he will go as far as paying for it.
Yeah.
He said that.
I did hear that. I saw that interview.
So your level, what you're saying, Dean, is right on the money. His respect and love and affection he has for the HBCU goes far more than his team. And I just think the guy's great for what he's doing right now. And the climate we are in now, where we see a whole bunch of silly shit in our community.
Yeah.
It's about time we see some good stuff, you know, from, you know, grooming these young men. And what I showed you guys a picture of some of his players in suits as they arrived to the game. So it was just that picture. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and you know, Deion, you think back to when he was a player, you know, he you know, we kind of, I ain't gonna say we, but you know our folks, man, they got a tendency to try to write folks off or try to label them as you know, negative or you know, cancerous or selfish or whatever, all the little adjectives we use and we put on people that we don't understand or don't really know. You know what I'm saying? And I remember Deion took some heat for when he threw the water on Tim McCarver.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was some silly shit too. I got on Deion about that. Yeah. Fuck was he thinking?
You know, but you know, it's one of those instances, whether it was silly or not, it's something that some people try to make that this is who he is. You know what I'm saying? Versus it was a silly moment. He was a younger guy at that time, you know. I mean, sometimes, man, we get a little ahead of ourselves. We get a little immature. We've all done some immature shit that we wish at time we could take back. You know, we just haven't done it in front of millions of people.
Very good point.
You know what I'm saying? Our fuck ups are you know, usually left for us or us and whoever or our little small circle. And they, you know, you kind of deal with it and you move on. But like I said, I didn't know a lot about Deion personally, you know, really until he retired, you know, until he was out of football. And then he's, you know, doing his reality shows and he became he was on the NFL Today for a couple of years. And he started to see him outside of football. And, you know, like I say, I didn't have an opinion of him. I just didn't know much about him other than, you know, what he did on the field. And he was damn good at that. So, you know, you know, I always looked at him as just a hell of an athlete, man, hell of a player. But to be able to see, you know, how he interacts with his children, you know, that's huge for me as a dad myself, you know, and the you know, the imagery, man, and you know, he didn't allow the failed marriages to kind of overtake what people wanted to say, because people were saying some shit about him when both of those marriages failed. You know, some nonsense that was coming out about him. He never blinked. You know, he kept pushing, man, and you see the relationship that he got with his kids, man. The picture that I'm seeing, and I'm seeing it in my head, is just a couple of weeks ago. You know, when they rolled him out on the field after the game, and both his boys, you know, came and hugged him. And that's powerful imagery, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this is not just my coach. This is my dad. You know what I'm saying? And this is powerful. You know what I'm saying? It's always good to see fatherhood in a good light, especially with a black man. You know what I'm saying? Being that, you know, black fathers catch hell, you know, for what some of them are not doing.
All day, every day.
You know what I'm saying? Some of them are not doing. So it becomes the stigma that they want to put on a lot of us. You know, what we are, what we are not. You know what I'm saying? So anytime that I see powerful images like that, you know what I mean? And he have his moments with his boys, man, even and his daughters as well. You know, but he do it in a public way for the world to see. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we have issues just like everybody else. We go through our storms just like everybody else. But at the end of the day, you know, we able to get through it, and we able to love each other. You know what I mean? We able to love each other and show the world that it's love. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, what he's doing at Jackson State is awesome. You know what I mean? I think, man, I'm hopeful that, you know, HBCUs across this country, man, get an opportunity to you know, do something similar. You don't have to have Deion Sanders, but you get somebody in there that understand how to work that room. You know, how to change the culture. You know, how to put your university in a position to win. You know, that's what it's all about, man. And so it's awesome, man. I was excited when he got the job. I remember watching the press conference online, man, how they rolled him in with the band, and I mean, and this is during the COVID. You know, he got hired doing smack dab in the middle of COVID, man. So everything was socially distant, but they rolled that red carpet out for him. Man, it was a beautiful thing. And in prime time fashion, man, he did not let him down, man. He came in as he should have, you know, gave them what they wanted, said what he needed to say, man, and he been off to the races ever since. And he been delivering. He not only talking about it, he delivering on it. You know, so I'm in agreement, man. I'm proud of what I'm seeing with Jackson State. I ain't gonna get on here and say I'm no big Jackson State fan and all that shit, but you know, I'm pulling for Deion to be successful, man. I'm pulling for him to be successful. And you know, I always pull for, you know, people that I respect to have success in whatever their situation is. And, you know, I'm trying, you know, doing a little coaching myself. So I always look up to coaches, man. I always like to hear them backstories with coaches. Right. And because I look for any little thing to take to practice. It could be something he said or just something that he's doing. You know, because you never know what it is that's going to get through.
That's right.
To a youngin'.
That's right.
You know, and it's just, you know, I don't make it about me, but we had practice today, and you know, we not blessed with, you know, 6'6", 6'7", 6'8" across the front line, man. Our tallest guy up until, well, football's over with now. We got a 6'5", 6'6" coming. We 6'2" and below across the front. You know what I'm saying? And I got kids telling me, Coach, I ain't no 4, I ain't no 5. If you look around the gym, my man, you are.
Yes, you are.
You are that.
That's right.
But what I also tell them is, man, don't get caught up in these numbers. Don't get caught up in the 5 or the 4. Don't get caught up in that. Be a basketball player first. You know what I'm saying? Stop limiting yourself because right now we need you to be the 4 or the 5.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you're part of a team. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes this 5'7" guy might have to be the 5. You know, you just never know. So, you know, we put limits on ourselves a lot of times as people. You know what I mean? We limit ourselves and saying, well, you know, I've done it. Man, I ain't doing that shit. Yeah, I ain't doing that, you know. And I limit myself. I've limited myself in opportunities, you know, because I said, listen, man, I ain't doing that. Right? It's not until you understand, you have some understanding and some growth that you realize, man, the only limits we have in life are the ones we put on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And anything that you set out to achieve, you can do it.
Mm.
If you, number one, if you believe you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
But number two, if you give yourself an opportunity to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
it's looking at these 15, 16-year-old kids and telling them, oh, you're a basketball player. You're not a center, you're not a point guard, you're a basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
Be that first.
Mm-hmm.
All the other stuff will work itself out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All the other stuff will work itself out, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know, when I told the kid that his uncle was a center at his age, and he looked at me like I had 2 heads. He didn't believe me. I'm like, yeah, he did. He was a center and a power forward, you know, and he went on to do some nice things with himself.
Okay.
But you know, if you don't know, you don't know. You know, and it's just the nature of it, man. 6'10" kids are not growing on trees. You know, everybody don't have one.
That's right.
And so, you know, people, you know, kids, man, they you know, they kind of don't understand that some of the players that they look up to the most, you know, were the tallest guy on their high school team. They may have had guard skills and all that stuff, but them guys was playing the post. You know, they were sitting in that block, you know, and rebounding and you know, blocking shots and doing all the stuff big people do.
The way MB is supposed to be. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my bad.
Right.
So you know what? Speaking of that, a couple months ago, I saw a video of Jalen Rose as a junior in high school.
Mm.
You know, Jalen was 6'8" in high school. He was a big boy.
Mm-hmm.
But Jalen was on that block. Jalen was on that block getting work done in high school, man.
Yeah, but he had guard skills too.
But that's my point.
Yeah.
Don't let the needs of the team, you know, block. You know, because the team had a need to have Jalen at the center, and they had other guys that could play the guard positions.
Yeah.
That don't take away the fact that Jalen Rose had guard skills.
Right.
He had a great team too.
And he could play, you know, the center position. You understand what I'm saying? So where you play at in certain situations don't dictate where you go in the future.
True.
It's just the need of the team at that time.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And it's supposed to be about team.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's about you, you got to find a situation that's going to let you do what you want to do.
Excuse me.
You know. And I told him, I said, well, if you don't want to be down here with the 4s and 5s, you can go home. You know, I mean, I ain't stopping you. You can go ahead on home for the day. He stayed. Of course, he stayed. He kept his ass there and worked out and did well. You know, but man, I mean, you know, we limit ourselves so much because of what we see. You know, we got an idea of what it should look like. You know, I'm a 3. I'm a guard. I'm this. I'm that. Yeah, you can be all of that, but right now I need you to get some of these rebounds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and I need
right.
you to be a beast around this basket. That's what I need right now. You know, you get your opportunity to get out there,
Right.
but the team needs should supersede the individual needs.
Right.
At all times.
Right.
You know, but that's just a little Coach Kenny goddamn rant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good rant.
Yeah, absolutely. Limitations, man. Limitations. We don't want them. We do not want limitations.
Mhm.
Shout out to my man Bob Smith, Dundalk High School, my classmate there.
What's up, Bob? I used to work with Bob.
Yeah, I think you told me that. You
Yeah.
did tell me that too. You did work with Bob. You did tell me that. Yeah.
Oh, I just want to let you know they flashed the score to the Jazz is playing the Celtics. The Jazz is holding a 2-point lead over the Celtics in the fourth quarter with I don't remember how much time is left. So
How many points Rudy got?
Rudy, we'll go. He got triple double.
Well, look, I'm gonna see, man. Yeah, I tell you what. If I got a team, he ain't gonna be my first or second pick or third pick, but I like to have that guy on my team, man.
I like him. I like him as a ball player.
I mean, that's for
you know what?
Mhm.
Rudy
Mhm.
couldn't even pick the basketball if it get caught up on the top of the backboard. I'm not even asking him, yo, Rudy, get the ball up for me. I'm not even asking him to do that. I'm not even asking him.
He got 18 and 10 tonight.
Oh shit.
That's pretty good, man. I mean, give him a little credit, man.
Brooks is not impressed.
I don't give a shit. No, I'm not impressed.
Sorry.
On his ass in the trash right with MD.
You know he's averaging 15 and 14 and a half a game.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good, man.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good.
It's damn good.
But he can't take the team nowhere. He's good,
Yeah.
but that's as far as he's gonna go. That's as far as he's gonna get.
All right, tell me
This is his ceiling. This is it.
Tell me this, like, kind of like it probably won't happen, but just friendly sports talk. Say if the Utah met Philly in the championship, how do you think that matchup with Rudy and Embiid will go? I'm just putting it out there. You started this, CB. I didn't. I'm just asking.
That would be one of the most pathetic fucking series for us to watch, man.
So you said it wouldn't be Elijah Ewing.
Oh hell no. You know what? I'll tell you the truth. Just the other day, I saw some high school ball. Oak Hill was playing Mount Verdi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be a better game than Philly and fucking Utah.
Damn.
Oh my goodness. Tell us how you really feel.
And Mount Verdi, when I was watching the game, they was busting Oak Hill by 20-something points. But it was still a game to watch.
Yeah,
These young boys, they were still balling.
I could dig.
Shout out to Kwame Evans at Mount Verdi.
Mm-hmm.
There was some good ball. I couldn't say the same for
Derek Queen also.
Embiid. Embiid. That's right. I'm sorry. I mispronounced his name.
Damn.
My bad.
Come on, CB.
So what would happen if man Rudy became a free agent and ended up in New York?
Who?
At Madison Square Garden.
Who for what?
You better watch your mouth, man. We boys,
Rudy?
man. I thought we was boys.
You said
man.
Rudy.
Damn, man.
Rudy Gobert.
Oh, that'd be great. Hey, CB.
Fuck out of here.
I'm gonna tell you something. That would be great.
Kidding me, man. What?
That'd be great.
Yeah, it'd be great, and you'd be the one betting on the damn Wizards and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I just imagine him limping out the locker room like Will Smith. Nick fans be going crazy. Yo, y'all Nick fans crazy. We got Rudy Gobert.
Oh man, but geez, come on, man.
Burn the fucking garden down, man.
You had that planned already when you was
saying. CV brought it to the table. I just carved the turkey. He brought the turkey.
You had the knife though, man.
Yeah. Oh,
boy.
yeah. That's great, man.
That's good
Yeah.
stuff.
Dang.
Good
Yes,
stuff.
indeed.
Yeah, I'm still kind of stuck on this Gobert and got the MB comparison, man. I'm
Hey, yo,
still,
read what Rodney just said, kid.
what did he say?
Same cup, man.
Oh, yeah. I need a mute button. God damn.
Come on, Big Rod.
Oh, you talking about Cam Newton? Did
No,
you just say Cam Newton?
Oh, Cam.
Oh,
Oh,
shit. Yo, Big
Oh.
fella, I think you got to quit while you're ahead, man. Don't
yeah.
don't wait until the Cam Woods. Let's not do that.
Somebody said he changed his number from 1 to L on the front of his jersey.
Man.
Dude.
Oh,
man.
Hey, Kitty said, let's just see how it play out.
yeah. Let's see what happens.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
It's all right.
Yeah, now I don't hear no shit because now you know y'all know I'm gonna be on this Sunday.
I don't know.
If
He got
Cam
more.
come out
This
there.
is what Cam is going to be doing on Sunday.
Nah. Hey, he high tech now. He got the Microsoft search.
But you know,
on the
man, I had to take it back to 92. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Man, Cam
But still, that's what he's going to be doing. He's going to be using the Microsoft, the Microsoft tablet?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's going to be doing.
He's going to throw for 2. He's going to run for 2 Sunday.
Nope. He got more splinters than Bobby.
Run for 2 what?
Yeah.
Yards?
Touchdown.
Is Cam starting this week?
Start what?
They put him back on the bench.
That dude Bobby Boucher right now, man.
Hey,
He the water boy.
this Cam Newton slander is going to stop.
Your belief, big fella, your belief in Cam is similar to Belichick's belief in, what was that quarterback's name way back when? What was that guy's name?
You talking about
Drew Bledsoe?
You said Belichick?
No, for the Ravens.
Oh, Billick and
Brian Billick.
Kyle Bowler. Right.
What was his name?
Kyle Bowler.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Your belief in Cam is just like Billick's belief in that guy, man. It's blind, man. I need you to come home, big fella. I need you to come home, man.
Hey.
Damn.
Hey.
Cam's a backup.
Yeah.
Woo.
Hey, Brooks. I do got the power to mute.
Yes, you do. Yeah, you do.
I got the power to mute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, you do.
Bad Cam to Bowler.
Dean.
Woo.
If nobody else on this line know how I feel about Kyle Bowler.
You got love for him?
Dean, no. Dean, tell him how much I love Kyle Bowler.
Oh, damn.
Ain't no love there for Kyle Bowler. 0.
Not even an ounce.
Not even an ounce.
But you got plenty for Cam.
But you know what? Speaking of Cam,
Cam is an MVP of the league.
Yeah.
Kyle wasn't even an MVP of his church league.
Yeah.
True. Facts.
Kyle, man.
I want to give a shout out to him though, man, because the NBA gave out first quarter awards, and I'd like to give a shout out to Kyle Kuzma, who wore the Cam Newton collection this past week on his way to the game.
The big pink sweater.
Unbelievable.
Really?
I didn't see that.
Unbelievable.
Too much money.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you know.
That's what you just bored.
Yeah.
Give y'all a quick Kyle Bowler story.
We're not celebrating his demise, right? I mean, we just having fun with him, Big Rod.
Go ahead, Kenny, run it.
We're not celebrating. He said we celebrating Cam's
demise. No, not celebrating.
Well,
just acknowledging.
I guess it was about 2005,
no, I'm not
2006.
Yeah.
You know, Kyle was the starting quarterback here. You know, people in the media was trying to tell us how hard this kid is working. He's getting better every week. You know, he just needs some receivers to throw the ball to, and this, that, and the other. And I watch every fucking game, and I'm saying to myself, I don't know what they watching. You know, I don't care who he got to throw the ball to. This guy's not the answer.
Yeah.
So, you know, I had this tug of war, man, because I'm listening to these media guys. They seem to believe in him. I said, damn, maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm not being fair to this kid. So I'm in the Shoppers Food Market down at South Side Marketplace, Fort Avenue. To be specific to where I was.
Right.
So I'm in the market and see this big tall guy coming up the aisle. And he looked a little familiar there. So as we get closer, I noticed this Orlando Brown, better known as Zeus.
Oh shit.
So so Zeus is a guy I've seen around town a few times. So we were friendly. We would speak. We saw each other. I'm a big guy, so he noticed me when he saw me. So we always spoke when we saw each other.
Right.
So this particular day, I spoke to him, said, what's up, big fella? He said, hey, what's going on, big guy? We, kept it moving because I was kind of in a rush.
Right.
So as I walked out of the aisle, that Kyle Bowler shit hit me. I said, man, let me go back. I'm gonna ask this motherfucker. So I said, man, big fella, you don't mind? Can I ask you a question? He said, yeah, what's up? I said, can this dude really play? He said, who you talking about? I said, y'all quarterback, Bowler, man. Is he really a player? Is it just he needs some time to get it together? Or is my eyes deceiving me? Man, this motherfucker gave me a look. One of them looks that Brooks had gave us at some point tonight. And he looked me dead in my eyes and said, man, that motherfucker can't play. You see him out there falling all over his feet and shit, man. You see it. I said, say less, big guy. And, man, that's all I needed to hear. I knew I wasn't going crazy. I knew I wasn't losing my mind. I said, man, I know this dude is not good. Right. And here's somebody that's in the trenches with him, blocking for him and all that shit, man. He told me, man, listen, he can't play. He's not the answer. Nope. You know what I mean? He is not the answer, brother. So
Al Bowler.
I got it right from somebody that was in the building, on the line.
He knows.
Watching him trip over his feet.
Yes.
But Belichick rolled with him week after week after week after week, man.
I can't let you disrespect Belichick like that. We talking about Brian Billick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we gonna get the name together because Brian
Gotta
Billick,
get the name right. Sorry.
Brian Billick was an offensive genius before he got here to Baltimore.
Because he came from Minnesota, right?
Where they had some offense.
Easy be a genius when you got Randy Moss out there, motherfucker.
Right.
Yeah, you got Moss on one side, you got Carter on one other
Chris
side.
Carter.
Right.
And the guy they had cut the middle wasn't too bad either. I can't remember his name.
He was tough too.
Can't remember his name now, but
Minnesota had some tough teams back then.
And they had Robert Smith toting that rock.
Right.
Yeah, Randall
Cunningham throwing that motherfucker. You know what I mean? So
they was doing it easy.
Yeah, they really should have. They should have went to the Super Bowl that year.
They went 15-1 that year.
15-1 and lost to Atlanta.
Right.
That's the year Atlanta ended up with the Dirty Birds and shit. They end up at the Super Bowl.
Yeah. With Jamal.
They had a kicker, the Minnesota Vikings. Now, see, I don't. Some people say I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but look, man, the Minnesota Vikings, they go 15-1 that year. Now, they drafted Randy Moss.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think they had an owner. It was in something was going on with the ownership. So the coach, what's the coach name?
Denny Green.
Dennis Green was the coach. He drafted Randy Moss. People was down on Randy Moss, man, coming out of college. Yep. He drafted him.
Marshall.
I think it was Brian Billick.
Brian Billick, what?
Why he the coach?
No, he was the offensive
Green.
coordinator.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Denny Green was the head coach. Yeah,
that's right.
The offensive coordinator. Yeah. They had Denny Green as the coach. They had Randall Cunningham as the quarterback. They had Moss, who they was hating on. They went 15-1 during the regular season, ready to go to the Super Bowl. I think to play the Denver Broncos. Did the Denver make it that year?
Yeah.
With John Elway?
They won it. Yeah.
And they won it. So here you got the Minnesota Vikings with the black head coach, the black quarterback, and the criminal, the bad guy, Randy Moss, get ready to go to the Super Bowl to beat John Elway's team, the Denver Broncos, But they had a kicker, Gary Anderson, who had not missed a field goal all year.
Mm-hmm.
He had missed it all year. But when he got up to kick a 35-yard field goal,
Chip shot.
he hooked the shit and missed it.
Mm-hmm.
He hadn't missed all year. He hadn't missed all year. Now, did somebody get in his ear? Did somebody get in his ear to stop this? You know how they are, man. Now, did somebody stop that? Did somebody make this guy miss? Do you remember when Tony Dungy was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Mm-hmm.
He had a black quarterback, a rookie, Sean King.
Sean King, yeah.
I remember
With the
Sean
quarterback. They were playing for in the NFC Championship game against the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever get a chance to watch that game, you probably won't because they don't allow it on YouTube. You can't even find that game on YouTube because the officials, the refs, they purposely called penalties on that game to keep Tony Dungy, that brother, with that brother rookie quarterback from making it to the Super Bowl. Warren Sapp was on that team too. You ain't like him either. But look, man, you know, I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Inquiring minds want to know. I'm just saying, man. Have you ever seen that thing on Netflix about it's a documentary about the guys who was doing the point shaving?
Nah, I want to see that though. Actually, I'll start tomorrow. Yeah.
Look, man, watch that thing, man. Watch that thing.
You talking about what the
I'm
dude
saying about this football ain't no joke. But if you watch that,
you talking about the dude Headache Smith?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that was tough.
That was tough, man.
That was tough, man.
Tough.
That lets you know what's going on. Keep that thing out.
Yep. Yeah, that was definitely good watching.
That was good watching there,
Good watching, man.
About some point shaving and getting paid and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Keep that out.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, definitely. That was definitely a good one.
And was that like Dirty Money or something like that?
It could be. It could be. I know I watched it probably a month or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I kind of forgot about Headache Smith, you know,
Me
down
too.
there. I kind of totally forgot about him, man.
That's all about him.
And watching that kind of refreshed me a little bit, like, damn, he was tough because he was right in my era, you know. 93, 94, when he was in college. I was definitely watching a lot of college basketball during them years. And they played on that Arizona State team. They had the boy Jamal Faulkner. He was tough.
Yeah.
He was tough. So yeah, that was definitely a good one.
That was good. Y'all need to watch that one. That was real good.
A real good one.
Real good.
Real good. Yeah. And
Open my eyes up.
It show you how easy it is to, you know, manipulate a game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even in a winning effort.
Yes.
You know, because they wasn't even losing some of them games. They were winning some of them games and cashing out pretty big, pretty nice.
Yeah.
You know. But it make you wonder.
Make you wonder
about a lot of stuff that's happened over the years. You know, the UNLV lost to Duke. You know, that's one everybody been throwing around. You know, LJ should have took the shot.
Mm-hmm.
They was point shaving. I mean, I want to think that if Greg Anthony don't foul out, that game is a little different down the stretch. Because they definitely miss his leadership in them last couple minutes of that game. You know, just even getting them organized and on the defensive end too.
And that's what can happen in a game, especially in basketball. You know, the refs can control the game with the fouls.
For sure.
You get a star player in foul trouble. I mean, that changed the whole course of the game. I mean, you look at who's the Kobe guy here? Is that Cheese? You look at the Sacramento Kings when they played the Lakers in the playoffs back in the past. Yeah. And I mean, clearly the referees decided the outcome of that game, you know, because the Lakers was going to lose and they wanted to keep the Lakers in the series. They're the big money team, the big market team. They wanted to keep them in and not get put out by Sacramento. So, these referees, can make these calls and can change the outcome of a game.
That's facts.
And so, you never know. You never know.
Yeah, and I, the coach in me, well, I ain't never coached nothing that was worth millions of dollars. So let me preface that before I become aware and sound like, I'm this big coach or whatever. But the coach in me always look at a game and say, there's things that happen all through the game that determine the outcome. Like some people will look at the last few minutes of a game and say, well, that's where the game was decided. But there's things that happen in the first quarter of a game that can determine the outcome. We missing layups and free throws in the first half. We turning the ball over too much in the first half. We that can determine the outcome of the game as well.
Yeah.
But like you say, when there's referee, when there's some nonsense in it, when they, got a motive, and of course we've learned that was an issue too with the NBA had the issue with the referees a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That was doing some hanky panky with the games, man. So yeah, it definitely plays a part. And like Big Rodney said, gambling been a part of sports, an issue in sports forever.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, it's definitely a thing, man, and something that that documentary definitely must see.
It's must.
I would definitely recommend. I would recommend everybody to watch that.
I know.
Yeah, check it out.
Did you watch the other episodes of it, Kenny? Because I just watched that first episode.
I just watched that one. I haven't seen one other
watch.
episode. I watched that one and haven't even went back.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'll go back and watch some of the other ones.
Yeah.
So great, wrap it up, fellas. And we rolling tonight.
Oh yeah.
Got on a good roll tonight. Thank everybody for tuning in. My guy Jamal, Big Rodney. Big Rodney be with us every week.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Rodney, for your input. Saw a couple brothers in and out. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. We had a good week. CB, who won the Utah game, man? Can we get an update?
137-130, Utah wins. I'm looking at the box score right now. 35 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You 5 for 5. That's all in 35 minutes. Okay, all right. 12 rebounds. 18 points.
Double.
Okay, all right. I mean, like I said, he's not a bad player. He's not my only thing with him is he's not one that's going to get better. Like you could bring him the best coaches, and like he has reached his peak to me. Like this is what we're going to get. That's all.
Let me ask you this: Did you see him doing the Olympics?
I did.
He was a much different player in the Olympics.
France, I think, right?
Yeah, he was dominant in the Olympics. He was a much different player in the Olympics.
It's international competition. I mean, it's international. If he did that in the NBA, all right.
He played well against the USA.
Huh?
He played well against the USA too.
He did.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't see him as a bad player. I don't see him as a scrub. I just think that I don't think that he's one that can take a team. Well, with Utah, I don't think that he can take them deep into the playoffs.
Shout out to Rudy Gobert. This may be the most airplay he gotten on the podcast.
And the motherfucker shut down the NBA with his COVID ass. Shut the whole motherfucker down. The whole motherfucker down. He did that. He did that. Left us with some bubble shit.
I wasn't gonna bring that up.
Right.
But yeah, he was front and center with the whole COVID shit, rubbing the microphones and rubbing all on his teammates. And next thing you know, Everybody, they shutting the whole arena down and shit. Yep, we gotta close
Shut
it down.
the whole damn thing down.
Yeah.
Oh
Damn.
man.
That's
Oh,
Cheese's
man.
boy, Gobert. That's Cheese boy.
Ah,
Man, Rudy Gobert. Yeah, we gonna have to send a invitation to his representation, see if we can get him to come on.
Yeah, do that. Do the same thing with MB.
Maybe we can get them on together.
Oh, that'll be beautiful.
You know,
yeah.
get the big men on the big men.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will say about Gobert,
Mhm.
he will play in the paint. I see him. I when I do see him play,
Mhm.
I do see him spending more time in the paint than
And be
Joel.
that dude.
yeah.
And the thing is, MB got the physical. He got the physicality to impose his will in the paint.
Yeah.
That would add to a game. Not to say that he should dismiss the perimeter game altogether, but it should be a healthy mix.
Right.
You know, because you know if you have that part of your game as a threat, okay, but it shouldn't be. I don't want to say the stronger part of your game, but it shouldn't be like half, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Rodney, we might have to rent a space for that show. Big Rod said he want to be in the studio for that one. For the Embiid and
Right.
you know, you got Embiid on one side, you got Rudy on the other side, and Brooks in the middle.
Brooks in the middle.
Laying both of their asses out.
I'll be telling MB, look, man, why you bitching about Simmons, man? Take the team over. It's you and Tobias. And Tobias, I'm disappointed with Tobias, man. Because this is the time for him to take over. He has an opportunity now, and he's not doing it.
They need Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I was going to say that. They need Ben Simmons back. The little engine that could.
We need Ben Simmons, man, to run the team. Brooks ain't saying nothing.
I ain't saying shit. Y'all just trying to fucking trap me, man. I ain't saying shit, man.
Yeah,
had me all this pessimistic motherfucker out here, man. You know.
Hey, I can't wait to
Because
see.
I can go in on Ben, but I
know
choose
you
not
can.
to.
I know.
And I used to ride with Ben. I was riding with Ben when he was in high school, when he was at LSU.
Yeah.
I was with Ben, with MB when he was at Duke. But
MB was at Duke. He didn't go to Duke.
Where'd he go? Where he went at? I don't even know.
He went to MB didn't go to Duke. I know that.
where did MB go?
Let me see. I'm gonna tell y'all in a second. Now you got me Googling.
Right.
Google will be your best friend.
Joel Embiid. I want to say Kansas.
Oh, you know what? You could be right.
I'm absolutely right. He went to Kansas.
You could be right. Right.
He went to Kansas. Yeah, I was thinking it. I wanted to be sure before I.
That's right. It was Kansas.
So yeah, he went to Kansas. Yeah.
My mistake. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely wasn't a Dookie. You know. Yeah, I don't like none of them guys. So. Yeah, he was a Kansas Jayhawk, and I don't think he was only there 1 year. I think he went to Kansas 1 year. He was hurt, and he was hurt while he was there, if I'm mistaken.
Yep.
Hurt his back or something.
Yep.
Yeah. Any parting words this evening, fellas? It's been a good ride tonight.
Yeah, it was a good ride tonight.
Good energy, man. You know, we covered some ground.
I think it was a real good show. I think I think it was really highlighted by the talk on Dion and what he's doing in a big way. I thought that was powerful. Hanging in there. It reminded me of the guy up at Coppin, Kenny, after they made a run. They made a run in that NCAA tournament that year, and all the coaches universities was coming at him to give him a job. And he turned them down. He said, "No, I'm gonna stay here at Coppin. This is where my work is. I'm right where I'm supposed to be." Yeah. So that sort of brought back memories of Fang staying up there at Coppin. So
I was at Coppin around that time too.
Yeah. So you know.
Good time to be up there on North Avenue, man. It was some good stuff.
Absolutely.
When them boys went over there and shocked the world, man.
Shocked the world. Yes, they
Shocked
did.
the world, knocked South Carolina off, man. That was a good time to be on campus, man. I'm telling you.
It was a 15 seed, right?
15 seed, yes, sir.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
Yep. Right up in Pittsburgh, too.
Yeah.
And I started to drive up there that Sunday, man, and I talked myself out of it.
Who was that team they had on the ropes in the next game? Was that Arizona?
Arizona.
Had them on the ropes.
Had them on the ropes, man. Yeah. Good game.
Yeah, old Fang. Fang said, no, thank you. Thanks, but no thanks. Yeah. I'm going to stay right down here off North Avenue, and I'm going to try to help these folks out here at Coppin.
Yeah. Yeah, well, been a pleasure, fellas. You know, we do Friday nights is the night scene like.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen next Friday. I got a game. We got our first game next Friday. So I don't know.
Oh, good, man. Who y'all playing? Towson
High School. So
okay.
I don't know how late I'll get home.
Yeah, keep us posted.
Where's the game? At Dundalk or?
At Dundalk. Yeah, that's a home game. Yep.
Home game. Okay.
Yeah. So
shout out to my alma mater, Mervo, for winning the state championship. M.
Sure.
Woo! E. Woo! RVO. Hey, hey, hey. Had to get that in.
Shout out to Mervo. They beat my guys last night. I saw one of my players. He played last night. He played a hell of a game too. He made some big plays on defensive end. He's chasing that quarterback around a little bit, and he was telling me, he said, "Man, some of them linemen was big as you, coach." But he was getting them about the way. You know what I'm saying? He a pretty solid kid himself, and he did a hell of a job, man. He had a hell of a game, and he'll be back next year. You know, he's just a junior, so he'll be back next year on the football field as well. You know, I'd like to see this kid, man. He's a little rough around the edges. I don't know what his grade situation is, but he's a kid that could play some football at the next level. You know, maybe Division II, Division III type of school.
Have you ever coached football?
Have I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I coach youth football. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'm football. I mean, I like football. I like coaching football.
Okay.
I just love coaching basketball. So, you know.
I got you. You
know, football I like, basketball I love.
Got you.
It's all good. But yeah, this kid got an opportunity, I think. You know, I'm getting to know him a little bit. I just really met him over the summer. So I'm, trying to, kind of feel. He, like I said, he a little rough around the edges. Gotta get into his grade situation, see what's going on there. But he's a kid I think could do something with himself. He got a athletic, very athletic body. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Probably a solid, probably about 6'1", 6'2", maybe. And he's probably a solid 210, 215. I mean, solid. You know what I'm saying? Like, nice solid side for a young kid, man. So
good.
Yeah, like I say, I'm talking with him, just trying to feel him out. And
he's playing basketball?
Yeah, he's on the basketball team. He came today.
Okay.
The football players weren't even required to come today.
Okay.
They supposed to get like 3 days off. So they really we're probably really supposed to see them until Monday. Since their last day was last night. But he always around anyway. Even during the football season, we had to make his ass leave to go home. He said, go home. And he always hanging around. But he kid. He's a kid at heart, man. He like to play a lot. But he was in there today, and he worked out with us a little bit today. So so I'm pulling for him, man. And like I said, I'm getting to know him, so I'm hopeful that we can kind of keep him on the straight and narrow, man, and he can do some good things. So that's part of the job, trying to make sure they seeing themselves what they don't, what we see in them, what they don't see in themselves. So fellas, shut it on down for the night, man. We're gonna do it again. I don't know. We're gonna do it again. I don't know if it's gonna be next Friday or Saturday, whenever. We're gonna do it. We're gonna get it in.
Okay, just let me know.
Keep us posted. Keep us
Yeah, I
posted.
got y'all, man. But I appreciate y'all for joining me tonight, man, and coming on and doing what we do, having a good time with this thing, man. So
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
let's keep it up, fellas.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Appreciate y'all, brothers, man.
Absolutely. Peace
Peace
out.
out.
Okay, man. Y'all have a good weekend, man.
Yeah,
You too,
enjoy.
brother.